Well, greetings from the high 10. It is Everyday Shenanigans. Thanks for joining me. Hope you all had a wonderful and safe Thanksgiving for those who celebrated the holiday. Please be careful shopping up until Christmas time. God bless all of you. Happy Friday to the viewing audience. Thank you for joining me. This is a two-part live pertaining to Shanquella Robinson's fate down in Mexico. As most of you know who's following the content, an arrest warrant has been issued for one of the perpetrators that assaulted her. I just recently watched a video before going live that allegedly 3 people participated in the beating up of this woman. Do not know how true that is, but I will play you commentary pertaining to her father. He has done a news interview with a news agent pertaining to how he feels about what has happened to his child, and he and the wife are seeking justice for their deceased daughter. The second part of this live is pertaining to Leilani'S Simon. I will bring you information pertaining to what neighbors have to say pertaining to the arrest of Leilani'S Simon, Billy Joe Howe, and the babysitter, Diana McCarter. Very interesting information. And I also will recap the interview that she and her mother gave to the local news. Thank you so much for joining me. This is Everyday Shenanigans. If you'd like to donate to this great network, $Beganji, 129 Cash App. All stickers and chats are welcome during this live. Sorry about that buzzing noise. Oh my goodness. I was not expecting that. Hold on one second, you guys. All right, everybody, let's get started. WTOC is the source. After arrest, revisiting Leilani Simon's exclusive interview with WTOC. Thank you for joining me.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Mike Sela. Dawn Baker has the night off. Tonight, the mother accused of killing her 20-month-old son in Chatham County, Quinton Simon, remains behind bars. No bond was set for Leilani Simon today. The Recorder's Court judge hearing the case says his court doesn't have the authority. Murder cases. She did not appear in court personally. She was represented by the Public Defender's Office today. Leilani is facing several charges in Quinton's disappearance and death, including murder. It's now been 7 weeks to the day since little Quinton went missing from his home on Buckhalter Road in Chatham County. Since then, several developments have happened in the case. Camille Syed shows us how we got to this point.
A lot has happened since Quinton went missing 7 weeks ago today. Leilani Simon reported her 20-month-old son, Quinton, missing on October 5th. A week later, on October 12th, police named Leilani as their only suspects in Quinton's disappearance and presumed death. Over a month after that, she was arrested. That's on November 18th, after law enforcement found remains that they believe are Quinton's this past Friday. Fast forward to today. Leilani Simon pleaded not guilty on multiple charges, including the murder of her son, and she was denied bond.
This court will not consider bond, don't have the jurisdiction or authority to do so.
Quinton lived with his 22-year-old mom, Leilani, and his grandmother, Billie Jo Howell. Howell had custody of Quinton, filed an eviction notice on Leilani and her boyfriend on September 26, a little over a week before Quinton goes missing. In between Quinton being reported missing and Leilani's court hearing, Chatham County Police and FBI agents scoured through a landfill for exactly 1 month until they found what they believe are Quinton's remains last Friday. Leilani, who is currently in jail for killing her son Quinton, has 2 other young children. Neither were in her custody before she was arrested. While Leilani is behind bars, many questions remain. We still don't know what led up to Quinton's death or what evidence law enforcement has that leads them to believe Leilani murdered her child. As we learn more about this case, WTOC will bring you the latest. Camille Syed, WTOC News.
Our Shay Schrader spoke to Leilani on October 24th in an interview you only saw here on WTOC. And tonight we're looking back at that exclusive interview. Shay joins us now in the newsroom. And Shay, what does this interview look like knowing what we know now?
That interview was almost a month ago, and it was the only time that I've ever spoken with Leilani. That was on October 24th. And when I did that interview, Chatham County Police had already said that they believed Quinton was dead, had named Leilani their sole suspect, and had started searching a local landfill for Quinton's remains. In that interview, Leilani never outright stated whether she was guilty or innocent. She maintained that she was broken up over Quinton's death and disappearance, visibly crying both when the camera was on and when it was off. However, she said if it came out that she had anything to do with Quinton's disappearance, she would turn herself into the police.
I'm here. I've been here every day since this. I am not running and I'm not hiding. And if something does come up that I am at fault, I will take myself to that police station.
3.5 weeks after making that statement, Leilani was arrested and charged with murdering her son, Quinton Simon. That came 3 days after Chatham County Police found what they believed to be Quinton's remains in a local landfill. In a news conference held shortly after Leilani's arrest, I asked if she did turn herself in.
Leilani made a statement to me that she would turn herself in. Was there any talk of giving her that opportunity?
No.
After Leilani made that statement in the interview that she was willing to turn herself in, her mother, Billie Howell, also jumped in.
I will take myself to that police station. And I will walk with her.
According to a family friend I spoke with on Tuesday, Billie did take Leilani to the FBI office where Leilani was arrested and then transported to the Chatham County Detention Center. That detail matches what I was told by a law enforcement source familiar with the case.
They sat there for 4 hours yesterday until, I'm assuming it was for them to get the warrant.
Let me play that again.
After Leilani's arrest, I asked if she did turn herself in.
Leilani made a statement to me that she would turn herself in. Was there any talk of giving her that opportunity?
No.
After Leilani made that statement in the interview that she was willing to turn herself in, her mother, Billie Howell, also jumped in.
I will take myself to that police station. And I will walk with her.
According to a family friend I spoke with on Tuesday, Billie did take Leilani to the FBI office where Leilani was arrested and then transported to the Chatham County Detention Center. That detail matches what I was told by a law enforcement source familiar with the case.
They sat there for 4 hours yesterday until, I'm assuming it was for them to get the warrant. So come and take Leilani up and took her to jail.
Weeks ago in the interview, Leilani also told me that she didn't know what had happened to Quinton, but cut off her mother to say she hoped he was alive.
We want him found happy and alive. We want him back in our arms, holding us. That's what we want.
Wow.
We're just hoping that he's in somebody's house and they're feeding him, and we're hoping that, maybe they wanted a baby or couldn't have a baby. Maybe they thought they were his savior. But it's not. That's their best hopes at this point.
An important note about this case, in the news conference after Leilani was arrested, Chief Hadley said that he does not expect that they will arrest anybody else. Mike?
Right, thank you, Shay. To look at our coverage of this case, including exclusive interviews, and a timeline, head to our website, WTOC.com. Just click on the Quinton Simon case page.
All right, everybody, WTOC is the source. We're going to recap what was mentioned in this. Naturally, they're playing this again because Leilani'S Simon has been arrested on 4 charges pertaining to the death of Quinton Simon. No, the evidence. What is the evidence that law officials have against Leilani'S Simon? As I brought you commentary the other day, evidence found at the house led them to the dumpster, which led them to the landfill. What is that evidence? You hear the interview, the infamous interview where both of these people are grand actresses. She learned it best from her mother. Looking over at the mother at some point, Billy Joel turning her head, sobbing quietly, knowing she's lying. That's why she turned her head, because she knew she was lying. Hoping the child is found in someone's house being taken care of. Well, that's a idiotic statement to me. Because when you try to put a child, your own child, with somebody else, it's as if you're hoping that's where they would be, because you know you didn't want your child. So you're fishing while talking. This was a fishing attempt. Oh, I hope somebody's taking care of him, feeding him. Well, as an expert once said, that I brought to this network, Mr. Peter, you are basically telling us you didn't feed your child. So you're hoping your child is eating. But the only thing he was eating was dirt. Not doing that because he was dead. Wasn't doing much eating. But you understand what I'm saying. Sucking on dirt, a baby. Mush to absolutely nothing. His remains. And you're hoping that somebody is feeding your child, taking care of your child. But you basically told on yourself, I didn't do a good job as a mother, so I'm hoping that whoever has him, although I know nobody has him because he's in a dumpster in a landfill, nobody has him. The dirt had him. The earth had him. Want him back in our arms, hugging us. But as Mr. Peter said in his commentary, who reads people's statements, it should be you wanting to hold your child because he's the one that's missing, not you. The news reporter says that she can verify a source that Billy Joel did take her in to the FBI. But I still find it very peculiar that this cooked up story of taking her to the FBI comes right after remains were allegedly discovered last Friday. So what are the odds you have to use your friend to spin a web to the news, to social media, and you can't speak for yourself, but yet you stay on social media, YouTube, every waking hour, talking to your Canadian friend, but you can't tell the news the same thing. Why not? You can talk to everybody else on social media, but you can't talk to the local news reporter who can share your story, your version, your cooked up version, but you rather sell that story to a YouTuber instead of selling it to the damn news. Make me understand, because it makes no damn sense. The news is who you should be talking to. Vinnie Politan is who you should be talking to. Nancy Grace is who you should be talking to. You want to talk to a YouTuber who ain't got a pot to piss in. I said that. Because you can spin the web better on YouTube than Vinnie Politan. And Vinnie Politan is giving you 5 minutes of fame out here. Billy Joel, how proud you must feel right now. You've made it to court TV. Yet you're still sucking on YouTube's breast for the almighty dollar. My. How desperate you are. As Dr. Phil would say, how's that working for you? spun this web, Leilani'S Simon, about the child, knowing the child was dead all the time. All the time, which is so macabre. Because one, the planning of a death is macabre. Acting it out, lying about it later, showing no remorse, no empathy. It's very creepy. Well, if Vinnie Politan and his producers didn't do their research, they only know what's told to them, such as this version we got. They don't know Leilani and her mother. They don't know them to be pathological liars because they probably don't sit up and watch YouTube. This YouTube is a dangerous thing. This and social media is dangerous because it gives people the avenue to lie continuously. And it's nonstop because it never shuts down. See, the news cuts off at some point. YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, you can just sit up all night, just tweet. Post. Can't do that with the news. Well, Ryan, put up a petition. If you feel like what she's doing is fraudulent, go to change.org and put up a petition for the wish list to stop. Just say it's fraudulent. Because basically it is. She's done that already. Weeks ago, before we even knew the child was dead. Soliciting people for money. Why are you soliciting people for money when we didn't even know the child was dead? So we have this cooked up interview. Leilani's spinning the web of the child being over here and hopefully he's safe because she's basically telling you, I didn't do a good job as a mother, blah, blah, blah. Billy Joel's turning her head, showing you, I know this girl is lying. I can't even look at her. I got to turn my head, but that's your spawn. Billy Joel Howell. You can't look at what you brought here, what you carried for 9 months. You can't even look at this thing standing beside you. I guess I would turn my head as well. Amazing the predicament one can get him or herself into, such as spawning a demon child that killed their child that is now lying to the general public because they heard people talking on YouTube about the little nasty dealings behind that they didn't anticipate to get out, such as everyday shenanigans. Who's been talking to that black lady, I want to know? Telling her stuff she's not supposed to know. Well, too late now. Cat's out of the bag. No bond. The court tells you you can't render a bond. Her public defender would have to petition the Superior Court for a bond, praying there will be no bond. Because how amazing would that be? She gets a bond and somebody decides they want to try to get her out. Lord have mercy. Very sick story. But a story that we hear every day, nonstop. Nonstop. Thank you, Suzanne. Thank you so much. Well, I don't know, Gigi. The news, and what I find interesting is that a reporter asked Chief Hadley about her turning herself in, and he said no to the option of her turning herself in. But yet, Billy Joel has decided to let the world know that, yes, I took her in. I went over here, over there, got clothes from this place, took her to get something to eat, and voila, took her to the FBI. But it makes no sense because he told the reporter that wasn't an option, her turning herself in. So who's telling the truth? And now the news lady is saying, I have a news source, a legal source that says it's in cahoots to what Billy Joel has spun. I'm not really here to argue what Billy Joel has said about turning her daughter in. I don't give a damn, quite frankly. Because my thing is this. Once I see that you lie about one thing, It doesn't matter if you finally decide to tell the truth on day 20, day 60. You're still a liar to me. How about that? So the one time the little boy, little girl that cried wolf decides they want to tell the truth, nobody believes them. It's just like the old fable. The wolf is coming. The wolf is coming. Well, who's going to believe you? You've lied so many times. Why would I? Why should I? So whether she took that spawn to the FBI, I don't give a rat's ass. She's in jail now. I don't give a damn if she flew in by a helicopter on top of the building. If a drone picked her up by her hair, Queen don't care about that. Because as I said, once I see that you lie, it doesn't matter if you ever decide to tell the truth about anything. It is neither here nor there with me. She's locked up, no bond. Spent her Thanksgiving inside. Leilani, how do you feel now being incarcerated? Can't be too nice. No Chinese buffet in there. No steak, no filet mignon, no red wine for you. Oh, no more drinks and shots and turned up. No more getting high. And it's not to say they don't bring drugs in jail. Of course they do. Maybe you'll be lucky to wink your eye at a cutie pie in there, and they'll try to fill your belly up with some fentanyl or meth, and you'll die before you even go to court. Would that be your choice? To die in there before standing trial for the death of your baby boy? Thank you, Amberly. Because it'd be just your luck. You would get a little dose of fentanyl in there and die in there. And we all would be pissy angry. Damn, I wanted her to stand trial for killing her baby. Because we want you to suffer. And we want your mother to suffer. We want Mr. Howard to suffer. We want anybody else in that house that had knowledge of your plot and planning to kill Baby Q. We want you all to suffer because you rightfully deserve to suffer. You could be the worst of a man or a woman, but the day you decide to plot the death of a child, you're not fit for air. You're not fit for breathing. And you should get whatever you gave that baby. And only God knows what you did to him. And I don't want to think about what you did to Baby Q, because I'm sure I won't like it. I just hope it was quick. Whatever it was. The neighbors have decided they want to speak about what happened. Buckhalter. Thank you, Carolyn. 1 second, you guys. I want to thank you all for your time. God bless all of you. Spending your Friday with the Queen. Thank you. Thank you, Miss Ben. Thank you so kindly. God bless you. Happy holidays to all of you. Let's see what the neighbors have to say, because this is some interesting commentary I'm about to play for you. I don't know what's going on and why this person would say this to the news, but it's not good. It's not good at all. And I'd like to know why this person went to 22 ABC WJCL to make these allegations against Diana McCarter, the babysitter. Something not right here. Let's go ahead and play this commentary for the viewing audience. WJCL is the source, everybody. Neighbors react to Leilani'S Simon being arrested.
During a landfill search in Chatham County. Our Olivia Wild joins us live from the Chatham County Jail, where Leilani'S Simon remains right now. Olivia, it was an active day, though, outside of Quinton's home today.
Marvis, good evening. Neighbors were eager to share their feelings with me about this case, but one thing that everyone can agree on, they are happy that Leilani'S Simon is in this jail behind me tonight. Catherine Martin and her son were out walking the day 20-month-old Quinton Simon first went missing. Now, the day after his mother, Leilani Simon, was arrested, they're out walking again.
I think we all knew that she had something to do with it.
Martin has lived in the what she calls quiet neighborhood for 50 years.
I mean, the day of, I couldn't even believe that a child was missing. There was no mother. I mean, I would have been outside screaming, crying, having everybody I know trying to find my child. It was really quiet here. That was strange.
On Monday, police revealed they found what they believe are Quinton's remains at the landfill they've been searching for weeks. The evidence has been sent to a lab now for DNA testing.
We have every reason to believe that this will confirm the remains are Quinton's.
The 22-year-old is charged with malicious murder, concealing deaths, false reporting, and false statements. Her bond hearing is Wednesday. There was a lot of movement at the house on Tuesday, but Martin says Leilani's arrest is another step toward peace for her neighborhood.
My hope and my prayer is that justice is served, and whatever she did, she gets what she deserves, and that this child can be laid to rest.
Olivia, you spent the day out there. I know you had the chance to speak with several more neighbors who didn't want to go on camera. What did they have to say?
Marvis, I think everyone in the area, especially in that neighborhood, is just trying to process this through talking. Some, of course, did not want the camera in their face while doing so. But one woman tells me that she wants the police to look into the babysitter and the grandmother. Another says she would see Quinton running through the streets and has a hard time looking at his photo without getting an emotional reaction. So definitely a tough day for Buckhalter Road and those neighbors. And hopefully, some peace now that this case will be moving forward. Marvis.
Our Olivia Weil reporting live for us tonight. Thank you so much for that live report, Olivia. Definitely important to mention that.
All right, everybody. Second source pertaining to the Quinton Simon storyline, WJCL 22 ABC News is source number 2. Okay. They've gone into the neighborhood to talk to some people. If you all would jog your memory back, they talked to an elderly lady when the story first broke, and the lady was talking about the child running around outside, other children running outside, playing in the ditch, so on and so forth. So now you hear someone speaking on this, but they didn't show this person's face, didn't want to go on camera. Child running in the street. I've always said this to you about this case and other cases. When children are not watched, anything can happen to them. They can get chased by a dog, bit by a dog, hit by a car. Anything can happen. Other children could hurt them because they're out of sight. So it's sickening to hear Dinah McCarter tell us that the children were playing in the ditch. Now we have another neighbor, unidentified, saying the child was running in the street. Do you know how ridiculous this sounds? What is a 2-year-old, 3-year-old doing running in the street? You can't even hardly see a 2-year-old. It's an accident waiting to happen, even without the complicity of a mother plotting the death of the child. Something bad was going to happen to any one of those kids because the mother had checked out. And let's be truthful. The children did good to make it to 2 and 3 and 5 months, 6 months, or whatever. Because it's a wonder all the children aren't dead. Let's keep it real. I don't think she wanted any of her children. She was just the type she liked to have sex without a condom. Many women don't like condoms. Many men don't like condoms. She likes the real deal, the real feel of a man. Yeah, I'm going to be explicit during this live because it's the truth. So then she, whoop, 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 pregnant. Now she's pregnant. Oh, shit, I'm pregnant. Damn. Boom, 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 boom. Baby's out. She does good to make her 6 weeks checkup. She's pregnant again. Stay woke. She likes sex. I think most of you should figure that out by now. She likes sex. She has no plans to be a mother. She just don't got the money to abort the kids. Maybe if she had the money, she probably would have got an abortion. But my goodness, imagine how many of those she could would have had. Every time she has sex, she gets pregnant. She's very fertile, which most 22-year-olds are. But care enough about yourself to get protection. Birth control, IUD, condoms. They are free, Leilani, but you won't be having that problem now. No more baby making for you. Thank you, Jesus. Let the church say amen. No more babies for you. No more getting high, drinking, turned up for you. No more leaving children unattended to fall in swimming pools or get ran over by cars, playing in ditches. No more of that. Everybody's in agreement. Thank you. Thank you, Chief Hadley, for deciding to arrest Leilani'S Simon. Thank you. Now, will you please go pick up her mother and Mr. Howe and whoever else has aided this kid to his demise? Because she needs to be arrested, Billie Joe Howe. Because she was the custodian of the child 1 week before his death. One lady said, speaking here, Miss Catherine, that she knew something was amiss with Leilani'S Simon. She had something to do with the child's death. I'm sure many people thought that around the world. Some aiding her, believing she could be innocent, could be somebody else. Well, why believe that when the chief already told you, I got what I got? But you all didn't want to believe that, some of you. Now, you're sitting somewhere looking like you're crazy. She's now in jail, arrested. Not coming out of there unless somebody from Canada would like to come down here and break her out. I said that. Other than that, she's not going anywhere. Yes, and the information in court pled not guilty. But that's a narcissist. They don't have any proof I killed my kid. I don't care that they pulled him out of that landfill, what little they probably got of him. I'm still going to plead not guilty because I could put it on any bloke. Because I've done it already. Bubba Moss. Babysitter. Child wandered off. Random stranger came and kidnapped the child. I've got many options to spin to the public defender. And boy, do I feel sorry for the public defender. Your head's going to hurt, ma'am. And I like how you told the judge, oh, we've talked extensively. I'm sure you have. But are you going to be good enough to get your client off? And we saw how Baez worked for Casey Anthony. So we're going to pray you don't do a damn good job. Amen. I'm sure she talked your ear off. Spun all kind of wild stories. So let's go here. Public defender, what did Leilani tell you? Did she go ahead and tell you what happened to the baby? Or did she make up a new perpetrator? Let me guess. It's got to be either Paul, the brother, or Danny Youngkin. Which is it? Oh, my. Because she's got to implicate somebody else. She's got to implicate somebody else. I think we already know this. Bubba Moss didn't work out. Dinah McCarter didn't work out. So now that leaves my brother and my baby daddy. Which is it? I'm curious. Leilani, are you going to blame your brother? Or hell, you might put it on your sister. Oh, my sister was there. I told her to keep the kids while we stepped out, went to the picture show, went to the movies. Who's going to be the lucky victim this time when you go to court? What surprise are we going to hear in the courtroom of who our new victim perpetrator is going to be for the death of Quinton Simon? if you listen carefully to the end of this commentary, you also hear somebody allegedly told the reporter, didn't give a name, that law officials need to check into Dinah McCarter, the babysitter, the former babysitter, and Billy Joe. Well, we already know about Billy Joe. We already know she needs to be arrested. But I find it interesting that you would mention Diana McCarter, whoever you are. Where are you trying to take this accusation? Check into Diana McCarter for what reason? So what are you trying to say? You believe Diana McCarter did something to Quinton Simon, and then what? Make yourself clear. She killed the baby and dumped the baby in the trash bin, but yet she's not a suspect. Hatley says there won't be any more arrests, and he has evidence against Leilani'S Simon. Not Pookie, Ray Ray, Bubba, Shamiqua, nobody. And now you want to throw Dinah McCarter under the bus. Who are you? And I'd like to know who you are. Come holler at the Queen. I'm going to do something I rarely do up here. I want you to contact me, and I'm going to let you come up here on Everyday Shenanigans, and I want you to explain to me, after all that's been said and done by Chief Hatley, everything that's been done and said by Leilani'S Simon, Billy Joe, her husband, I want you to come to Everyday Shenanigans and explain to me why you are implicating Diana McCarter. Please enlighten me. Hello, everybody in the chat. Why are you wanting to implicate this woman after everything that's been said and done in this debacle, this farce of a story? Billy Joe meddling with YouTubers, all the heckling and craziness that was on the ground. Why are you all still bothering this woman? Now, I'm going to say there are things that Dinah McCarter was doing I did not care for, which is the constant talking to different people. And I also saw something in a video earlier that she allegedly has talked to a certain YouTuber that I do not care for, and I'd like to know, Dinah McCarter, why? Why are you doing that? Because you said a few weeks ago you were not going to be talking to anybody. You wanted people to leave you alone, stop bothering you. So why are you talking to a YouTuber? For what reason? You feel safer now? You still have Billy Joe walking around. You have Mr. House still walking around. She has a son and a daughter still walking around. Do you actually think you're safe? Because I don't think you are, ma'am. I don't think you're safe, because what you need to understand is that you have to live over there on Bocopta. We don't. Those YouTubers don't live on Bocopta. They don't even live in your state. And you may say something you can't take back, which you've done that already. And naturally, these people don't like you because they're sickos, they're wackos. And you're only making the situation worse by doing interviews with people who really don't give a fuck about you. They don't care about Quinton Simon. They don't care about that family. They just want likes and views. So when some shit pops off on Bocopta, where will the YouTubers be? They won't be there. They'll be somewhere in their cushy little trailer park watching the bullshit jump off. You have a family, you have children. You need to be concerned about the welfare of your family, your children, because Billy Joe knows people. Her husband knows people. And I'm not wishing any harm on you, but I'm speaking what is common sense. You live on Bocopta, we don't. And those YouTubers will be the last people I would be spinning a web to. You want to talk to somebody about Quinton Simon, Billy Joe Howell, Leilani, Danny. Vinnie Politan is always open for consultation. Nancy Grace is open for consultation. You have a local news outlet, plural, in your vicinity. I advise you to talk to those people. I would not be talking to those YouTubers. Because I sat and watched you. Somebody's short. Guy was asking you questions and you were responding. And I was looking at you like, well, why is she talking to him? Because she just said she didn't want to talk to anybody. She didn't want anybody bothering her. Don't get in her inbox. Don't say anything to her out of the way. But yet you're talking to a random stranger about how long you've known Quinton Simon. And there's variances in that. 1 minute it's a year. 1 minute it's 10 months. Then another news says it's 6 months. So I'm curious. How long were you keeping the children? This is why you shouldn't be talking to people, because there's too many versions circulating about how long you actually kept the kids. And it may seem minuscule to somebody else, but there's people who are meticulous and they like to beat a dead horse. So therefore, when you start giving different versions or they're hearing different versions, then they start looking at you and they want to start poking and prodding at you. This is why you shouldn't be talking to random people you do not know. But back to the subject, whoever you are, a mystery person that talked to the Eyewitness News, why are you implicating Diana McCarter? Look into her. Look into her for what reason? I'm curious. We already know Billy Joel needs to be looked into. That's no secret. That's no secret at all. Well, why should the police be looking into Diana McCarter? She says they came and picked up the children, all of them, on that fateful day, which would have been the 4th of October. So therefore, she's not implicated. So what's the problem? Is it just you don't like Diana McCarter? You have something personal against Diana McCarter? So you don't like Billy Joel and you don't like the babysitter. So I'm curious now to who you are. Well, this is supposed to be a neighbor, Shanny, not a YouTuber. Allegedly. But that's the whole point. The news hasn't revealed the name, so therefore it's whomever. But she said a neighbor who did not want to be identified. Either way, McCarter obviously has been cleared. There's been no mention of her or her family members. So let it go. Stop rocking the boat. Because it's petty and it's disrespectful. Considering the woman did keep the children for less than nickels and dimes. Just let it go. Stay in your lane. If indeed this makes it to trial, Leilani is alive to stand trial for the murder of Quinton Simon. Should she receive the death penalty? I will put that up on my next poll for this evening. Should she get life in prison or should she face the death penalty for Quinton Simon? And I do not know if this death meets the requirements for the death penalty. I will have to wait till January comes and she goes back to court again to see if this case is in correlation with the death penalty. But she doesn't deserve life because she didn't spare her child. And he was an itty bitty spider. He didn't ask to come here. He did not choose her. He did not choose Bubba Moss. He did not choose Billy Joel Howe as his relatives. He didn't ask for them. And I think it's disrespectful for Billy Joel to be summoning people for money for a funeral. You work every day, you and Mr. Howe. You should have money in your bank account for a small box to put his remains in and buy a tombstone. You don't need thousands and thousands of dollars for that. Possibly $2,000 for a tombstone, the plot, and a little bitty box to put his remains in End of the conversation. The second part of this live is pertaining to Shanquella Robinson. Thank you for joining me. I'm going to take a brief intermission while I get my bearings. Thank you all. We're going to talk about her father. He's done an interview, and we're going to hear what he has to say. Just one moment, please. Thank you all so much. All right, everybody. Shanquella Robinson is topic number 2 for this live discussion. After I play the information from News Nation, I will drop the link for you to give your opinion pertaining to the information relayed pertaining to the interview that Leilani'S Simon did a while ago. Neighbors talking about the children running in the street, the child running in the street unattended, and somebody now implicating Diana McCarter. Why? And the topic pertaining to Shanquella Robinson. The father is now saying that she really didn't know the people that she went on the trip with. This is crazy to me. Every day there's going to be something new in all these stories because you don't know people. He said, she said, and that's why I don't really like doing stories that have a lot of different people intertwined. I also watched someone's content earlier. I do not know if there's any truth to this, but this young lady's alleging that 3 of the women who were on the trip assaulted Shanquella Robinson. Is that true? Because you got to remember, it's only, a 20-second clip. You don't know the time frame of the video, what's filmed, cut, released. Why did they wait 5 days to release the video? Only a fool would do that, knowing you were an eyewitness to a crime because she ended up dying. Who was all there? Who was in the room? Who witnessed it? Did they steal from her, or was it the people from the hotel that robbed her? Is it true that her monies were stolen, credit cards? What's the truth? It wouldn't doubt me none that somebody would steal from her because she's dead and her things were left behind. So how did her things make it back to North Carolina? Did these people ship her stuff back or took her things back? Did they steal from her any monies, credit card, debit card? Is it true she really didn't know the people on the trip? Also rumored that she paid for somebody, or plural, on the trip. So why would anybody take a trip and don't even have a way back? That's another rumor I'm hearing. That somebody, or plural, didn't have a way back. So if I'm to believe she paid for one or two people for the trip, I don't know what's the truth. Why in the world would you go on a trip and you don't have a way back? This is very strange to me. Let's play this conversation from News Nation and chop this situation up here. Prayers to her family because her father is distraught over the death of his child. News Nation is the source.
Joining us now to talk more about this is Bernard Robinson. That is Shanquella Robinson's father. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm sorry that it's under these circumstances. We just had Thanksgiving, Mr. Robinson. I wonder how you and your family are doing without Shanquella there with you.
I'm not doing well. I'm not doing well at all. Just struggle every day. You, mom, and daughter. Not doing well.
It's like I said, I am so sorry for what happened. I'm sorry that these are the circumstances under which we are talking. But your goal is to get justice here. What do you think? The initial explanation was that she had died of alcohol poisoning, and now we have video of her getting beaten by somebody that she traveled with. Where is your head as far as where this investigation is going and what happened?
Good morning to America. When they came back with that story, or when her mom called me and said alcohol poisoning, I knew it wasn't alcohol poisoning. So it just turned my life upside down. My life had changed. But I asked God to show me what really happened over there in Mexico, Cabo. And then everything began to start unfolding because I wasn't giving up. You know, I paid for her to get back over here, to lay her down in the funeral home. I had to look for her that Monday morning, start looking where she was. You know, I ain't know nothing about no Mexico, Cabo. You know, and these friends, so-called friends, I want every last one of them over there, not just one.
You want them all sent back to face charges or to speak to a local prosecutor, right?
Every last one of them, because, you know, my daughter, she's not a fighter. You know, I ain't raised her to be that kind of way. I raised her to love and respect people. You know, I'm a people person. You know, I try to make sure you put yourself around people that not gonna do no bodily harm to you. You know, just like me. You know, treat people kind, respectful. You know, I always teach her never look down on nobody. For the blink of an eye, you could be in that same position they are. You know.
Mr. Robinson, I understand that you didn't really know the folks that she was traveling with, but had she ever mentioned any issues with them, or did you have any idea that she might be in danger traveling with these people?
None of them. No, I didn't. I did not even know. I did not even know. I ain't never met them. I ain't never saw none of them. You know, one thing I knew, my mom told me that they went to college with her. That's it. That's all I knew.
Let me go back to that a minute. Hold on.
They do with that same position they are. You know.
Mr. Robinson, I understand that you didn't really know the folks that she was traveling with, but had she ever mentioned any issues with them, or did you have any idea that she might be in danger traveling with these people?
None of them. No, I didn't. I did not even know. I did not even know. I ain't never met them. I ain't never saw none of them. You know, one thing I knew, my mom told me that they went to college with her. That's it. That's all I knew. You know, for them to do what they did, I looked at that video. You know, I got to give, you know, high praise to NCBB because he the one who took on the story and got the story moving like it was. Because I'm old school. I don't be on Facebook, Twitter, media, none of that. You know, I'm just behind the scene of her life. I'm just a family man, go to work, do what I'm supposed to do, respectful man, you know, take care of my responsibility, you know, and thinking that I was gonna see her again this weekend, the weekend that she sort of, went down there, and then they come back with that story, bringing her luggage back, and not her, and that sad story gonna come to her mom, her sister's house, and sit right there in front of them and eat their food and tell that story that it was alcohol poisoning, sir. And then I sit there in that funeral home, and them doors open, and she was in that box, and I looked at her, so I saw a knot on her head, like her eye was swollen. It had a cut on the lip, I didn't know it wasn't alcohol poisoning. So the lady finally called me and gave me the information, but now your daughter, I said, what she died of? She said, your daughter died of a broken neck and a broken spinal cord. And I said, well, they say alcohol poisoning. And no, Mr. Robinson. It wasn't alcohol poisoning her sister.
Let's go back there and hear that again. Hold on, guys.
The doors open, and she was in that box, and I looked at her, so I saw a knot on her head, like her eye was swollen. It had a cut on the lip, I didn't know it wasn't alcohol poisoning. So the lady finally called me and gave me the information, but now your daughter, I said, what she died of? She said, your daughter died of a broken neck and a broken spinal cord. And I said, well, they say alcohol poisoning. And no, Mr. Robinson. It wasn't alcohol poisoning her sister. Then all of a sudden that video came out.
Well, I am so sorry.
It really told me, y'all I don't know if y'all got daughters, sons, but for human beings, supposed to be your friend, to do another person like that, who give them authority to take another life and come back here like it's okay, knowing she got a father that love her greatly, been in her life ever since she came into this world, and God blessed me with that seed. Every day is a struggle for me because, she's not here. I can't be a granddaddy, can't even walk down the aisle, can't hear a voice. But they can hear, they can talk to their parents, for them to come back here, sir, and then he call me, then he reach out to me, ain't say, Mr. Robinson, sorry about your loss, ain't tell me what happened. But you're going to tell that sorry story to her mom and her sister, she got a father. She got a loving father, and I know for a fact it wasn't no alcohol poisoning because she don't roll like that. She might, she drank a little, but not no alcohol poisoning.
Mr. Robinson, your pain is very clear, and I do have a son, and I cannot imagine if something like this happened to him. But there are folks out here that don't know Shanquella. They never met her, and I would like for you to tell the folks what they were missing, never having met her and now never having the chance. What will you miss most about Shanquella Robinson?
She's a very loving child. She's not perfect, but she will respect you, and try to make you laugh. She's just a responsible child, going person, a very going, lovely kid. People, it's just her personality, her heart. It just attract friends. She just attract friends. And some of her friends, is no good to her. It's just the way she carry herself, sir. She ain't very loving and caring,
Well, Mr. Robinson, I know the extent to which you will miss her very much comes across. So thank you so much for your time. I know this was difficult for you, but I know I speak for everybody here at Morning in America and all of News Nation when we say we hope you get justice for Shanquella, your daughter. Thank you for joining us.
And I just want to thank everybody across this world that got a hold to this story and loved and cared and prayed for the Robinson family, because that's the only reason that I'm standing and talking to you all as I am right now. I'm hurt as I'm sitting here in this truck in which I'm a driver. And, I pulled over to do this interview because right now I'm on my way to go and put a plot on her grave.
I hope the next time we speak with you, you've gotten the justice that you deserve, sir. Thank you again for joining us. Morning in America will be right back.
Thank you for watching. Go to News Nation now.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. I got a discrepancy. I thought he was saying she didn't really know him. He was saying he didn't know him. Queen's ears gets a little bad. Don't pay me no mind. Just 1 second, you guys. I want to read you some information. Oh, Lordy, what a story. I'm going to change that title. Okay. Thank you all so much for joining me. Oh, mercy. What a story. Okay, let's get a little information going on about this crazy nonsense. Prayers to the Robinson family, extended family. Justice for Shanquella. I don't really know what happened down there, but whatever happened, it's obviously not right. What they did to her, and standing around watching and gawking shows you don't know people. ABC 13 is the source of this information. Woman vacationing in Mexico may have received care hours before death. This was uploaded the 23rd of November. Let me see if they've got something they want to play in here. Hold on, you guys. Well, thought it was going to. Maybe not. Okay. One second. These articles, they do not play content well. Let's see here. Yes, it's very heartbreaking. Boy, this thing just keeps circling. I don't even know why they put these videos in these articles, because they're horrible. And this one won't play for some reason. I'm going to go ahead and read. Well, let's see.
Sleep. I'm just frustrated. My heart is just aching.
New this morning, a North Carolina family is trying to find out what happened to their daughter who died mysteriously in Mexico. Shanquella Robinson was found dead in her hotel room last month while vacationing with friends in Cabo San Lucas. Her father says they were told she died of alcohol poisoning, but the autopsy says she died due to injuries to the spinal cord and neck.
I just want some truth, because this don't even add up right. It's like a nightmare, man. It's I can't even sleep. I'm just frustrated. My heart is just aching, man. And, as a father.
Now, this time, no one has been charged with any crime in connection with this case. The State Department will only confirm that a U.S. citizen has died in Mexico.
Not very much with that one. Well, as most of you know, a warrant has been issued for one of the females that was on that trip. And when I get more information, I will bring you an update pertaining to the warrant, who the warrant is for, because the individual has not been named on the warrant or brought forward information pertaining to who the person is. As FBI officials investigate the death of an American woman vacationing in Mexico, Mexican authorities revealed Tuesday night that 25-year-old Shanquella Robinson may have been alive and received care from a medical professional for several hours before authorities arrived, and she was pronounced dead, and ABC News has learned. The medical professional at the scene allegedly told Robinson's friends that Robinson was drunk, dehydrated, and that she should take her to a hospital. However, they declined to do so, according to authorities. The new report differs significantly from the original autopsy report obtained by ABC News, which said medical professionals arrived at Robinson's villa at 3 p.m. and she was declared dead within 15 minutes. The autopsy said Robinson died from a severe spinal cord injury and dislocated neck. Authorities have not responded to ABC News' request for comment on the difference between their report and the autopsy. According to the new police report, Robinson's friends requested a medical consultation at 2:13 p.m. after a general practitioner from the American Medical Center arrived at the address in Puerto Los Cabos. Robinson's friends told the medical professional that she had drank a lot of alcohol. Medical personnel said they noticed Robinson had a poor verbal response, was in a state of drunkenness and was dehydrated, but had stable vital signs according to the police report. The medical professional at the scene advised Robinson's friends to transfer her to a hospital, but her friends insisted she stay at the villa, the report said. At 4:20 p.m., Robinson began seizing, which is when one of Robinson's friends, Winter Essence Donovan, dialed 911. As emergency medical professionals arrived, the police report said Robinson began having difficulty breathing and had a decreased pulse. At 4:49, the general practitioner said they stopped feeling Robinson's pulse and started CPR until paramedics arrived. They continued with 14 CPR sessions and 5 doses of adrenaline without success. So that was at 4:49, the doing of the CPR and the CPR sessions. But at 4:20 is when this Winter person decided to call 911 allegedly. So 29 minutes have gone by. After the girl calls 911 at 4:20. At 4:49, they're doing CPR because they can't get a pulse. So she's slowly dwindling. If I'm to believe this actually happened, this nurse practitioner or whomever was on the scene. It's very, very sick situation. Then it says Robinson went into asystole state, which means cardiac arrest, a type of cardiac arrest. According to the police report, Robinson was declared deceased at 5:57. So if she died at 5:57, this ordeal allegedly started at 2:13 with the friends requesting a medical consultation. And it said a general practitioner from the American Medical Center arrived at that address. So from 2:13 up until, let's see, 5:57, it's almost 6 o'clock. That's damn near 4 hours almost that this woman is slowly dwindling down. I'm going to finish this information, then I'm going to give you my commentary. Once again, at 4:20, she began seizing. This Winter character dialed 911. Emergency medical professionals arrived. The report says Robinson began having difficulty breathing and had a decreased pulse. At 4:49, general practitioner said she could not feel Robinson's pulse and started the CPR until paramedics arrived. They continued with 14 CPR sessions and 5 doses of adrenaline without success. Robinson went into an asystole state, which is a type of cardiac arrest. Once again, according to the report, Robinson was declared dead at 5:57. According to the new police report, Mexican authorities were notified by Donovan around 5 p.m. local time of Robinson's condition. Mexican authorities were notified by Donovan. Let's go back to who Donovan is. That same young lady, Winter. So why would you be calling them 5 p.m.? Oh, the authorities were called, I guess, by the practitioner or somebody. We'll repeat that again. According to new police report, Mexican authorities were notified by Donovan. That's what it says here. Around 5. I'm curious, why would you be calling them when you sat there and let her stay there this whole time? You've all beat this woman up. She's slowly dwindling. Under 4 hours. But I guess when she had the seizure, you decided, okay, I better call 911 because how's this going to work out? She dies here. They pick her up. Naturally, they're going to take her to the hospital and they're going to find out what happened to her, even in Mexico. Very interesting. Very interesting. Okay, let me finish this. This is very, very macabre story. Once again, a new police report says Mexican authorities were notified by Donovan around 5 p.m. of her condition. Donovan and all of Robinson's friends who were with her in Cabo have not responded to ABC News' repeated requests for comment. The FBI opened a probe into Robinson's death earlier this month, which is being investigated by Mexican authorities as a femicide, a form of gender-based violence. Robinson of Charlotte, North Carolina, went to the resort city of San Jose del Cabo on the southern tip of Mexico's Baja California Peninsula with 6 friends on October 28. They stayed at a rental villa in Fundadores, an exclusive gated community with vacation homes and a private beach club, according to Robinson's family. The next day, Robinson's parents said they got a frantic telephone call from their daughter's friend saying she had died. With all the new and developing information, Robinson's family is still seeking answers from her friends who know what happened that weekend in Cabo. Salamandra Robinson, the mother of Shanquella Robinson, said she's happy the FBI has stepped in to help solve her daughter's case, so it won't go in vain. I would like to see each of them sent back to Mexico because of their plan was to come back here thinking that wasn't going to be prosecuted. That they wasn't going to be prosecuted. Robinson told ABC News she was a caring person, and I want them to always remember that. We're going to keep her legacy alive. ABC News is the source. So let's go start this. One second, you guys. I see that some of you are very busy. Very, very busy. So we're going to Lord have mercy. Thank you all for joining the chat. What is strange is all this time. See, that's the thing about when a video is posted. You don't know what has actually happened to a person. Because now you got to ask yourself, what's the truth pertaining to what actually happened down there? How many people participated in this beating of this young lady? Thank you, Arkansas. How many people participated? Because I was listening to someone earlier who believes 3 people participated, 3 females. So how many people assaulted this young lady? Why did all these people stand around watching, gawking at this lady? So-called friend filming. Why? Did the setup happen before they went to Mexico or when they got there? What was said to start this frenzy of an attack? Somebody says that the person that was attacking her, the first video, that was a man disguised as a woman. I do not know if that's true. Allegations that she was robbed, her personal effects were stolen, which I figured that was going to happen anyway. Because once you're out of sight, naturally somebody would take whatever money you have, valuables, purse, whatever. So what did they return back to the mother? Because we hear the mother is the one getting all the versions, not the father. In this video clip, you also hear the father saying nobody notified him, told him anything. He didn't even know these people personally. So really, who was her friend on the trip? Is it true that she paid for somebody's trip or several people's trip? Is she the one that rented the villa? How well was she doing in her career to where she could afford this trip? You hear the father also talking about trying to reach somebody at the funeral home to get this girl's body back, his child's body back. This is just horrendous information because you really don't know what to believe in these type of situations. This is sad to me. because nobody's going to tell you the truth. As you hear in this commentary, the national news has reached out to the participants. Obviously, they have their names, and they have not decided to speak to the news. Why? Why not? Did they intentionally go on this trip to rob Miss Robinson? Whose idea was it to go on the trip? Let's start there. Was this her idea? Did she invite one of her friend or friends and then they invited other people? What are we saying about all these people? It's being alleged that they all went to the same school, but were they all good friends with one another? Because that's a difference. You can go to the school with somebody, but that don't mean you're friends with them. You ain't know of them. So who is her actual supposed to be friends? Are these other participants, the ones that are doing the beating, friends of other friends? They returned with her luggage and ate with the family, the mother and the sister, giving this cocked up story that she had alcohol poisoning in her system. The father has spoken to someone who says that it's not true. It was not in her system. She may have had some alcohol, but that's not what she died from. That's the version the friends gave. Spinal cord injury, dislocated neck, as I read in this commentary, is what she died from. Will there be more arrests besides the one person they are seeking whose name hasn't been mentioned? No condolences to the father, just the mother only. Why is that? Maybe they felt like they didn't have to reach out to the father because they didn't know him. They dealt with the mother, so that's who they wanted to give their version to. Rumors circulating, people assuming that this was a setup. Items stolen from the woman. One's transgender. Do not know if any of these allegations are true. But naturally, if you stole anything from the victim, you should know it's going to get out. Authorities are going to find out whoever stole anything, whether it was the maid, somebody else in the hotel, because so long as somebody has access to your room or key, anything can go missing. I think most of you know this who travel. Who paid for the trip? Did each party pay for their own way down there? Who didn't have money to get back? I find that interesting as well, because that is also another rumor. I don't like spreading rumors because it becomes very dangerous when you start doing that he said, she said stuff, and it fuddles and fogs what is the truth. Because I don't know these people. I don't know her. I don't know who her real friend was supposed to be. Obviously, no one. But in theory, who was her friend? Allegedly. Are these other participants that were beating her up friends of that friend, but not actually her so-called friends? They paid for tickets and Quella paid $13 for the Airbnb. I don't understand what you're saying. Well, see, that's why you can't believe anything that's being repeated. This is why I said all the gossip, it doesn't help because nobody's going to verify anything that's being said. You can talk to your blue in the face. These people are not going to verify anything. The news won't talk. They won't talk to the news. So how are you going to get the right version of what actually happened? Who did what? Who participated in what? You're not. They're not going to tell you anything. They don't want you to know anything. That's why they ran back with all these wild stories of her having alcohol poisoning. But they should have known if you beat her up, her neck was dislocated, however it's worded, that was going to come out eventually. That's why they didn't want her going to the hospital. I have a problem with the practitioner because you are there as a professional and you were stupid enough to stand there and let some strange people tell you how to do your job pertaining to a person who was in distress. Why in the world would you sit and let people continuously talk you out of calling 911? This makes no sense to me because you're the professional and you have to know that she was dwindling. Although you said at one point, if this is true, she was okay. Well, obviously she wasn't, because at least almost 4 hours went by until death. So therefore she was dwindling down. So what you have to consider is no alcohol poisoning, but I won't doubt that she had something to drink. Then you've got a dislocated neck, spinal cord injury. It doesn't take much for you to pass away. Common sense. And you should have known to call 911 if you're a doctor. This is where I have a problem with you. If this is true, why would you stay with somebody for 4 hours? It makes no sense to me. So that's why I said you don't even know what's the truth. Because what this doctor is saying is different than what the autopsy says, which is she died 15 minutes after the injury. So now you have to ask yourselves, how many people participated in the assault? Was it all back to back or sporadically in the 4 hours? Do we believe this doctor? Because she doesn't seem believable to me, only because I can't see a sane person sitting with a sick person for 4 hours. That's strange to me. I just cannot believe somebody would sit with somebody almost 4 hours. That makes no logical sense to me. Why would you sit with somebody that long? And then she starts seizing. That's when the so-called winter person, who allegedly took some licks in on her too, oh, better call 911. Because then that's when they realize it's dire. Okay, she's not responding. She's limp. Can't talk. Incoherent. Now we're going to call 911. It was too late then. By 5 o'clock, if I'm to believe this is the accurate time, it was too late. She was holding on under an hour, barely holding on, because she was injured. And I won't doubt that she probably did have some alcohol in her. May not have died from alcohol poisoning, but they were there near a day. I'm not going to sit here and think that they weren't drinking. That defeats the purpose of going if you are a drinker. You're grown, you can do what you want to do. But when you drink, it doesn't help if you've also been injured. Does not help. Well, and that could also be a situation as well. They paid the doctor off. That's why I said something's not right with the time her hanging around that long and not calling 911 immediately. They don't run anything there. So that sounds strange. All of this is strange. The doctor hanging on for 4 hours, allegedly saying, hey, she needs to leave, but they said no. Then we have Miss Winter Donovan calling in the final hour to authorities, which makes no sense. You're allegedly one of the people they say hit her as well. So why would you be calling authorities? For what reason? If I'm to believe that. So you don't even know what's the truth. The dad said she had a cut lip, a knot on her head, and a swollen eye. So it looks like she was beat up. Most definitely. How many people put their hands on Miss Robinson? Hit the link if you have an opinion pertaining to the Quinton Simon case, the recapping of the interview with Leilani'S Simon and Village, Ohio, neighbors now implicating Dinah McCarter to the news, unidentified person, and part 2, Shanquella Robinson. The father has spoken to News Nation. He's distraught. He wants answers pertaining to his daughter. He wants all arrested. Thank you, Lisa. What is the truth to this crime that took place in Mexico? We hear that the one guy who was going by the house, the mother has spoken, and she said after day 4, he stopped coming by. Sir, why is that? Why you stop going by? Because you knew people started talking, implicating you. So in the end, it doesn't matter who was there, wasn't there, who's on camera, who's filming. It still was too many people in the room or in earshot. Something was awry with these ladies. Somebody should have intervened. And yes, I get it. It can be very dangerous entering a fight, but we're not talking about allegedly random people fighting. These are people that you all say you know or you like, so you shouldn't have any problem with saying, hey, that's enough, cut that out. We didn't come down here for that. Okay? Well, that's possibly the reason why he disappeared, because information got out that she died from internal injuries. So there's nothing else to say to the family, because the version I've given pertaining to alcohol poisoning isn't how she actually died. But I have a problem with everything that's been mentioned pertaining to this woman's death. People filming, how long it took to film, others allegedly joining in. What's the interval between the different blows to the young lady? Were all the blows back to back simultaneously, or somebody hit her, she sat for a minute, then somebody waited 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 3 minutes? What are we talking about? And why are you all doing this? You're too old, mid-20s, allegedly college educated. That's something I meant to mention in my last slide pertaining to the fact that these heathens attended a university. Why in the hell are you all college educated, if you do have a degree, beating up a woman, knowing that worst case scenario, she dies, the truth is going to come out to how she died. I don't know if you just think these people are so flaky down in Mexico, they weren't going to get to the bottom. And at first they probably didn't want to, because they have a lot of high crime in Mexico anyway. They don't care for their own people. So hell no, they don't care about us. But the heat was on them. Now somebody has some explaining to do. And allegedly, these are internal injuries that you can't explain with just saying, oh, it was alcohol. And you all were hoping that Mexico would push it under the rug and her family would say, okay, she died of alcohol poisoning. That's what you all were hoping for. Mexico pushing her case under the rug. Body gets shipped back. Mom and dad settle for the answer. That's the end of the story. But it didn't happen like that. Because God don't like ugly. And he wasn't going to let this child's death be in vain. Hello? I can't hear you. Your mic is off.
Oh, hi. There we go.
Where are you calling
Hi. I'm in Oklahoma.
Okay. This is a 2-part live pertaining to Simon case and Shanquella Robinson.
Yes, is it time yet to ask you a question about the Quinton Simon case, or should I wait?
Ask me a question. What do you mean ask me a question?
I'm just wondering if you've seen the photo going around that Billy Joe says is Quinton in the box at the FBI.
I've heard people talk about the box, and I had somebody send me a picture of a box with a flag on top. That what you're talking about?
Yes. Yes.
What about it?
Do you know anything about it? Because she's saying it's him in the box. I saw the text messages.
I don't watch content. I don't watch content pertaining to Billy Joe, so I couldn't say. I don't watch her.
Okay, we're just wondering what your thoughts were on that. So I know people come to you for straight facts, so I thought this would be a good resource to ask.
Well, why would I believe anything out of Billy Joe's mouth?
True.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah. He was sent to Quantico, so I want you to think about that for a second.
Yeah, I don't know if I know enough about that other than it sounds like her friends might have set her up.
What you
That's
mean?
the only thing that I've really gathered from that.
I don't understand what you're saying.
It sounded like from the only I don't really know enough about that to probably comment other than to say from the one video that I saw that was a long one, it sounded like her friends may have set her up and completely let her down. They should have stepped in and stopped the fight instead of just.
Oh, you're talking about Shanquella. Oh, I see. I'm getting confused with which story you're on. Okay, you're on the Robinson story. Okay.
Yes.
So you think somebody purposely went and flew all the way to Mexico to beat up a person?
I think they set her up kind of last minute.
Okay.
You know, I think it was a last minute kind of thing that they were like, well, let's just beat her up, or nobody stepped in when they should have.
So what was the motive?
Don't know. No idea. I don't know enough to comment on that one. I've mainly been following the Idaho case and Quinton. So.
Okay.
But yeah, that's really, two of my friends are covering her case. But it's just so messy, like you said yesterday. It's just so messy. It's hard to keep up with. The Idaho one's almost too hard to keep up with.
So let's go here with Quinton Simon. The last video I played, the reporter said she talked to some unidentified person that did not want to be on camera. And they're now implicating Diana McCarter, saying that she and Billy Joel need to be looked into. Now, most of us agree about Billy Joel, but I'd like to know why this person would implicate Diana McCarter.
Yeah, that's insane. I've chatted with Diana several times on Facebook Messenger just to check in on her, see how she's doing, and I'm thinking of her. And she's devastated by all of this. You know, she didn't have anything to do with any of all this. Anything at all.
Well, do you think she should be talking to random people about? Because my understanding in the beginning, she said she didn't want to talk to people, but yet she keeps talking to different people, such as yourself.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. I told her when I first messaged her that I was reaching out to her, not as a creator or anything like that, just as a mom and grandma. And I would never use anything that she said or, repeat it or anything like that. That's why I'm not quoting her. I'm just telling you, she did say that I could share what she said, but I just decided not to anyway. But yeah, I think all of them need to stop talking, let law enforcement handle it. I think Billy Joe would probably be in jail right now if she didn't have help with knowing what to say. I did watch Cher's lives.
So what do you mean by that? Slow down. Help with what?
Help with what to say and what not to say to law enforcement. She did do that a lot on her lives. She was directing both Billy Joe and Leilani. Don't say this, don't say that. Okay, stop talking. She was like helping them.
Well, see, that's what makes no sense. How stupid is that to tell somebody that on a live stream? That makes no logical sense. Why are you on a live stream?
I think she's unreachable. She feels unreachable because she's way up in Canada, so she doesn't think she's going to have any repercussions.
Yeah, but I'm talking about Billy Joel. Billy Joel's the one that's here, I'm saying. Why are you talking on a social media platform, but you don't talk to the people that you should be talking to? Because my thing is, I don't know who Billy Joel's talked to. I don't know that she's talked to the FBI every day. I don't know that because what I'm looking at is what you're doing on YouTube. And what you're doing on YouTube is contradictory to you talking to the FBI, to me.
Yes. And that was her in your early morning chat that day. I know it was her because I blocked her. She was going around she trolls chats. I see her a lot. Because I unblocked her after that to see if that was her, and it was. But she goes.
Well, I know it was her because the first picture was, of the baby, and it was like 4 a.m, and it was too quick to go from commenting in the comment section to the chat because I went live right after the comment. I saw the comment and responded, so that means the person was up to do both.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I don't intimidate easily. I think most people know that.
Yeah.
I don't
She's just
intimidate.
looking for attention. She's made all
Well, she is.
She's made all of this about her. It's
Yeah,
not
and
about
that's what's
her.
sickening
And
about
it's
the
just-
case is it's bad enough the daughter has killed this child, and then you come along and just go on and on and on with these random strangers you do not know anything about. They don't care anything about you, and you make the storyline about you. And see, this is why I don't like talking about children cases, because all the gossip and people making up stuff and passing rumors and stuff, and then the people in the story who are supposed to care about the children, they're only wanting attention, and that's what's happening here. That's what happened in the Wells case. They want attention. So then you're not even talking about the dead person anymore. You're talking about what the family members are doing. And that's exactly what is happening, just like with Summer Wells. We're now talking about what the mama said, what the daddy did. Nothing about the kid. It's always about the outside people who met the child or knew of the child, but it's not about the child. It's always about who did what, who's getting drunk, who got turned up, who's on probation, who's on parole, essay, everything but the kid. I don't like it.
It's tragic. It really is tragic. Yeah, it's absolutely tragic. It's heartbreaking. And now you have, certain other channels who are doing the same thing to the Idaho 4 case.
Yeah, I don't like that. And now that they made it to News Nation, all these hypotheses of this person. This is what I said about the Idaho 4. Why I don't want to talk about that. There's too many people involved to even suspect what happened. Like this one man said, you need to follow the evidence first, because there's too many people to suspect why somebody did it. You're talking about a house full of people you don't know anything about. You got neighbors, you got students that go to the university where the kids went. You got family dynamic. It could be anybody. It could be anybody. You don't know who was the target.
There's just too many moving parts.
Yes, too many moving parts.
Exactly.
Now,
That's why the police.
I don't like talking about stories that have that many moving parts in it, because right now they've gone from the guy and the girl were the targets to a Venmo account dealing with one of the other people in their family. I thought, oh God, I ain't got time for that. That's what got us caught up in that Debbie Collier mess, assuming stuff about a Venmo. You see where that got us.
Right.
So I'm not touching that. Little Dan says News Nation is just a YouTube channel.
It's sad. It's sad. That's why I've only put up the memorial information, because that's really all we can talk about is, what's next. Okay, the memorial, focus on that, support the families, and let law enforcement handle the rest. That's all we can really do.
I saw something last night. This morning when I was up, I was watching Duty Ron briefly, and I had not seen the house where the blood was coming out from the walls, which was very disturbing. And I thought this had to be a massive amount of blood, and this person had to bled a lot for it to reek out through to the outside.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
If you look at the Zillow photos, you can see what happened though. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I looked at the Zillow photos, and in that bedroom, that wall in that corner, all along there's a big gap in the floor between the baseboard and the floor. So you can see how that happened if they were right there.
Well, that's why I have a problem with somebody not saying, one of the people in the house saying they didn't know, or they never mentioned that one of them was bleeding, because I thought the only way you would know someone was bleeding by a stab wound or gunshot is if, one, the gunshot is with a small gun, two, stabbing, the person was turned over lying face down.
Yeah.
Because that's the one thing that was never mentioned when they said they found the person. Vinnie Politan, I think, mentioned that too in his commentary. Like, well, where's the mentioning of the blood? Because if everybody's saying the scenes were gory, then why is it that this person went to go call for help? They didn't notice that the person was stabbed. I found that interesting.
Yeah, I have my own theory on what happened with that. If you want to hear it.
Go ahead.
I think it was the friends that came over, the girls that were upstairs who were unaware, downstairs that were unaware. They had woken up, and I think they called their friends to bring over food, because there was early mention about food. And I think those are the friends that came in, and one of them saw something horrible and they passed out. I think the other friends saw them, didn't realize what was going on, and called 911 for an unconscious person. I kind of thought that
It
it
is.
would
Wait,
have to be
slow down.
that. It couldn't be
Slow down.
like a
I'm
bloody
confused.
scene.
Somebody came over from the people, the two other people living there, invited somebody over and go from there.
To bring food. To bring food.
Okay.
And that person saw something terrible and passed out, fainted. Other friends coming up
Oh, I
behind
don't know
them
about
probably
that.
saw them.
Now.
Yeah.
Now, come on now.
That's the only thing I could think of that would explain why they didn't say, hey,
How about
911,
the
this is,
people in
you
the
know,
house are
this is a
lying?
dead
How about that? It didn't dawn on you that the people in the house are involved?
Man, that would be awful. I mean, they just got tattoos of their friends.
What does that mean?
That'd be a horrible cover.
Listen, slow down. Who told you they got tattoos?
Oh, it's on their social media, on their VSCO, on Dylan and the other girl. They got matching tattoos of MKXE, their initials, on their arms.
So who are the people that got the tattoos of? One of the dead people?
Right. Yeah, the two surviving roommates got matching tattoos on their arms, and they
Okay,
say
you don't find that.
MKXE.
You don't find that strange.
I mean, they're college kids, you know.
No, I'm just
I
asking.
kind of thought they probably won't want them later. They probably won't want them later. You know what I mean? They're not going to want that tattooed on them forever.
Well, let me ask you something. I'm just asking you. Did it occur to you, ma'am, that they are involved? That's all I'm asking.
It did, but I thought the police said that they were cleared, didn't they?
Yeah. Yeah.
But we do know that the police lie to get people to
because they don't have to tell you the
slip up,
truth.
relax.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Just like when they was looking for the DC
until
sniper,
there's,
they didn't
arrest.
tell you that we already know who the DC sniper is, but we're not going to let you know that because they don't want you intervening and trying to subdue the suspects. So when they were telling people about the car was involved in a crime, all along they were giving you the suspect's description of his car, but we didn't know that at the time. They lied.
Right. Yeah, that's what's got me concerned about some of these cases. There are, YouTubers who are, trying to contact suspects and potential suspects and witnesses, and that's going to mess up the case. People need to stop doing that.
I don't believe in doing that. I don't know why anybody would want to talk to somebody they think is a suspect in a case. For what reason?
Yeah, that's what they're doing on the little Michael Vaughn case. There's somebody that's actually reaching out.
Yeah, I don't follow
to
that.
The suspects, to potential suspects, and that's just awful. Like, oh yeah, thanks, idiot. Let's give the suspects a head up.
For instance, I don't think they're involved, but I think they know more. Maybe one of them had a lover on the side. I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah, there's no telling what the police know.
Well,
and that's good. We're not supposed to know.
Yeah, because
we're not supposed to.
I definitely wouldn't want none of the YouTubers to know. Good God, that would be
the
not good.
The Delphi case has me scared that he's gonna walk.
Okay, I don't follow
Richard
that
Allen.
one.
Yeah,
I may scroll through, but I don't focus on those too much.
That they've got a really weak case, it turns out, and it's scary. If y'all look into that, it's scary.
That's probably the reason why they never arrested him, because all it takes is for him to get off on a technicality, or
I think that's what's about to happen.
Yeah, he goes before the jury, and then they find him not guilty.
Well, I don't even know if they're going to continue it. Honestly. Yeah, there's been a lot of talk on him. I think he's about to walk because his defense attorneys are actually pretty good, apparently. Okay. Even though they're public defenders, apparently they found where the probable cause affidavit is very weak, and they found evidence of other people involved. So they're kind of backing off a little bit. Yeah, they think that maybe he was not the lone person, but an accomplice. So now they
Well,
don't know if they should have charged him directly.
I think I heard something about that the other day. Maybe
Yeah,
two
and you only get one
suspects.
chance. You only
Well,
get
let me
one
ask you
chance to
something.
charge him.
Do you believe he committed the crimes alone?
I do. I do because, he went back there a year later with his daughter and had her pose in the exact spot. I think he's sick. Who would do that? It's just awful. So I think he's a very sick man, even if he was just an accomplice. But I don't know what they have, but that one's sad. I don't know what they have on him, what they found on somebody else. Maybe he's talking, since he's behind bars. Maybe he's revealing who else was involved.
Well, he might be scared.
But, yeah. Well, he should be. But he's claiming that he's innocent publicly.
Mm-hmm. Well,
he says he had nothing to do with it, has no
well,
idea.
We'll have to wait to see what they have.
Yeah, for sure. But that's not coming until February now. It's a long time.
Let me ask you this about the Simon case. Do you think BJ should be arrested for gross negligence of the children?
Gross negligence, absolutely. Negligence.
Okay. What about Mr. Howell?
I'm also a grandmother with guardianship, but I have legal full guardianship. She just had CPS placement. Mm-hmm. And it's like nobody will listen. Everybody believes what she. Well,
I didn't know the children. Listen, slow down. I did not know that I did not know the children were placed with CPS because let you all tell that CPS wasn't involved. So how's that true?
Yeah. Well, I dug up the actual CPS documents on it. And
how could you dig it up if you go
to? You kind of have to put the pieces together and know what you're talking about with the CPS, the way they do things. I went through it with my grandchildren. We went through a case, and then they do what's called a family plan, and then they do
let me ask you this. What was on the documents? Tell me what the document said.
I could pull them up on the screen, or I could email them to you. It says that Billy Joe knew she shouldn't be leaving Leilani alone.
No, that's not what I'm asking you. I'm saying, was there an intervention of CPS investigating them for any type of improprieties with a child, and Billy Joe stepped in to take the custody of the children? That's what I'm asking.
She stepped up and agreed to take them, but yes, there was an open CPS case.
Well, see, that's what's so strange is that I've been asking that from day one, and everybody who swore for God they knew what was going on said there was no, and she said there was no CPS. That's why I told people you can't believe anything that comes out of Billy Joe's mouth. But I'm trying to understand.
I have the actual
because that would be private, but that would be private information. How would you have that? I don't understand.
It was leaked a while back, and it got emailed around to several creators, and I was one of them. Yeah, it clearly says. I mean, I can read it or show it.
So somebody sent. Listen, slow down. Somebody sent you an email.
Correct.
And who was somebody like? I'm confused. You mean to tell me somebody from DHS went through private files and sent you an email? That's what you're saying?
Not DHS, no. Not CPS, no.
Okay.
Somebody, I don't know who, got leaked from CPS and then sent around.
I see.
I don't know where it originally.
Well, that's the same thing we heard with the Wells case. Remember? The DHS was involved in their life, and somebody said the same thing. Somebody got an email and a copy of alleged CPS involvement with the Wells.
Well, it looks like this originally went on another channel. I'm not going to say the channel name because they put their watermark on it.
I don't need it. Oh, you're breaking up. Barbara, what are you talking about, honey? Barbara. Barbara. Good Lord. Thank you, Jenny. I can't even hear what she's saying. Barbara? Barbara?
Oh,
Barbara Murray, I cannot hear you.
okay, hang on.
Everybody's breaking up. I don't know what's going on. KK. Internet's bad. Lord Jesus, my nerves is shot. Talking about these people, it gives me a strong headache. I guess she'll pop up here in a minute. She's having difficulties. Sorry about that, you guys. I don't know what's going on. Ooh, Lordy. Everybody's breaking up.
Hi.
Casey Breen.
How are you?
Barbara Murray.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Hello.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Barbara, are you here?
I'm here.
Well,
Can you hear me?
Talk. Yeah, I need you to hurry up and talk because I got other people up here. So go ahead and tell me what you want to tell me, honey. Start with Quinton Simon first, and then make your way on over to Miss Robinson, please.
Are you talking to me, Queen? This is Barb.
Yes, sweetheart. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Well, I don't know what to say, but I'll tell you one that's really irking me is the party they had last night.
Oh my God.
I guess they had a housewarming party.
Why are you over there, Barb?
Where? Oh, I didn't go over there. I just got wind of it like a little while ago. And then they had it in the house with, well, you said you wouldn't even sleep in there. But they're having a party in there. So I said,
so what was the party?
I asked,
what was the party for, Barbara?
I believe it was a Cher's birthday party, and then I don't know, housewarming party for somebody. But I commented that there's really nothing left to the story with BJ. What's that? There's nothing left. The baby's found. She's in jail. She's going to be tried for the murder of the baby. Now, what's BJ's story? Nothing. She's done. So now you have to make a story. What's the story going to be? It has to be something over the top for people to watch it. So now it's going to be. Want to hear my prediction? It's going to be like Friday seances or some weird shit. I'm serious. It's going to be weird stuff like that. Like all the people that have been murdered. Like she has two children that are murderers, right? That's what she said.
Yes.
So she has a grandson that's murdered. So, and then the victim of her son, right, was shot. And then Cher's father has 3 victims, right? Or whatever it was that he murdered.
Water on that one.
May I ask Barbara a question? Everyday Shenanigans, please.
Yeah.
First of all, thank you for having me on your show. First time.
Yeah. Tell me where you calling. Tell me, Foxfire. Tell me where you calling from.
I'm calling from Canada.
Oh wow.
Yes, Nova Scotia, Canada. Yes.
Nova Scotia.
Yes. So, I wanted to ask Barbara, what do you mean about seances? Like, what's that all about?
Well, like I said, it has to be over the top now because you have to keep the interest of BJ. I mean, the story's done almost until Leilani's convicted, right? What's the story? Well, maybe you got something in between there, like this fake funeral and, the fake remains now. It's not even his remains. So
what do you mean? Sorry, I've been behind, so fill me in, Barbara.
Okay, well, somebody posted on her community page a coffin or casket, whatever you want to call it, a casket.
No, who posted
Share.
that? Oh,
Share.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah. Okay.
With a flag draped over it.
That's already been debunked, my
And
she's just giving her
I'm saying, like, that was part of the ramping it up, drama. Because this is my baby. Oh, that's your baby. Okay, that's bullshit. We all know that because that's not your baby. That's probably an FBI agent or something.
Yep.
To me, that's stolen valor. That's illegal. So we'll just leave it at that. And it's fraud, second of all. And so that they tried that. And okay, so now they got to ramp it up now. What's the next best thing? Okay, if we do seances.
I'll bring the Ouija board. How about that?
I was just gonna say that. It's gonna be like Ouija.
I'll bring the Ouija board. I'll bring the Ouija board and the candles.
Does anybody think that's far-fetched? I don't.
For this case,
I believe it. I believe that's something that they would do.
Yeah, because they don't care about quit. And then I said to somebody, I said, yeah, we should just, let her cut loose. She's been grieving for a whole 2 days. Yeah. Give her a break. Come on.
Lord have mercy.
I know. I feel worse for the baby than they do, and I don't get it. Like I walk and I see a baby like him, and I go, oh my gosh, how sad. And I'm like, they don't even
Very
care.
Sad. Well, this just goes to show you how he was thought of in the beginning. I keep telling people how people treat you in death is what they thought of you in life.
Yep. And he didn't even have.
He was irrelevant.
He didn't do anything wrong. He was just born.
That's it. That's what was wrong. He was born. Exactly.
Yep. Yep.
Let's go. Let me go. Let Miss Foxfire talk. She's been waiting a minute. Okay. Foxfire, what do you have to say about this interview? Been rehashed by the news. Somebody's now deciding to want to implicate Miss Diana McCarter. And one neighbor says she kind of figured something was amiss with Leilani'S Simon. And also, Miss Robinson is also my topic for the evening.
So this is the babysitter? I'm behind.
I beg your pardon?
I'm behind. Are you talking about the babysitter?
Well, her name not necessarily mentioned, but in the news audio I played, someone didn't want to be identified, says that BJ and the babysitter need to be checked by the police. Why? I don't know. They want to mention the babysitter.
Yeah, that's really weird. That's weird. I don't know. See, there's just so many weird stuff going on in this case from the jump that it's all sideways now. You had Billy Joe saying one thing, oh, you can't trust my daughter, she's a liar, she stole from me, she tried to kick her ass out, and then you see her laughing and getting drunk with her, I don't know, it's just weird. Now as a mother I can understand, being like, oh, I didn't bring my kids up to be like this, but you gotta I would hold myself accountable for it, either way. And definitely if I knew that my kids had something involved, if they were involved in something, I would have drugged their ass down to the police station myself. That's me though. That's just that's just me. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you right now, as a mother,
so you wouldn't hold your children if you think you killed your grandbaby?
What's that?
Your daughter kills your granddaughter or son. You wouldn't uphold her?
Hell no. I would drive her to the police station.
Okay.
She wouldn't be in my. Listen, I would love my child no matter what. Right? I would try to find, because I'm Christian, and I would try to find some way to forgive, but that is some evil shit.
So you think you can forgive your daughter?
Well, here's the thing. Here's the situation. No. Just listen. If this was accidental and my daughter came to me and said, oh my God, and she didn't have the past that Leilani had, and said, "Oh my God, this happened. What do I do?" This is what we do. We call 911. We call the police. We do it.
Well, let's say your daughter did. Let's say your daughter did what Leilani did. Would you believe her if she said it was accidental?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Nope. I don't think so. I would try to stay and love my daughter, but I don't think I could ever feel a certain kind of way. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I would have a lot of hurt in my heart, and I would have to really keep that like at check, because at the end of the day, that would be my child. And I don't know. It's really tough because like I'm not in that situation, right? I might be a cold ass bitch, be like, oh hell no, like you're dead to me. Like I don't know.
Right. Okay.
Well, she's still denying it too. She's denying it. That's what makes it worse.
Yes, yeah. She pled not guilty. That's something I should talk about. We have not talked about that. The fact that she pled not guilty. How do you feel about that, Barb?
I think it's bullshit.
It's
bad. She's going to plead insanity. I think she's going to go with postpartum depression, that she was high. She didn't know what she was doing.
And then they're going to raise money. They're going to raise money, fundraise to get it. Because BJ said that she doesn't want to believe she's guilty. That told me there comes a fundraiser for her attorney. You know, I just see it makes the story last longer.
Hold on, did I just hear you say that Billy Joe said that she does not believe her daughter is guilty?
Well, she said she doesn't want to believe it. But
no,
to me,
I wouldn't want to believe it either. But you know what?
I wouldn't either. But if I knew that my child was on drugs, first of all, I would have never left my grandchildren with them.
We're normal.
After I took the responsibility and said, "Whoa, I need to take your kids from you because you're not capable of taking care of them, but I'm going to leave them with you while I go and do what I need to do."
Right.
Casey, where you calling
Casey Breen to be a better mama.
Casey Breen, where you calling the queen from, honey?
North Carolina.
All right, North Carolina. Okay, Foxfire, how do you feel about Miss Robinson's case? Have you followed that, or you don't have a comment?
I have a comment on that currently.
Go ahead.
I have not been following it.
Go ahead.
I said I have not been following that.
Oh, you have not been following. Okay, let's let Casey. Casey, what do you have to say about the information I played about the recapping the interview, what she said in the interview, her and her mother, the fact that now a neighbor wants to say implicate Miss Diana McCarter. Go ahead.
It's all just a bunch of bullshit. Like no lie, I'm gonna put it out blunt. I think it's bullshit. I think it's bullshit that if it was my children, because I am a mother, and if it's my child, you're not staying with me until you can prove to me that you're guilty. And there is any indication. I don't even if you got high and something.
You mean what you mean? No, wait, slow down. You mean innocent?
What did I say?
Huh?
Yeah, she would not stay with me until I knew she was innocent.
Okay.
Sorry.
But here's the thing, though. Like, she knew Leilani's past. She knew what she was capable of. She knew that she got high around these babies. That's why she took these babies.
Well, let her tell it. Oh, I had no idea. I was watching AB's channel early in the morning, and there's text that Cher has shown, and basically she's saying, no, she had no idea she would do anything like that.
And she's a lie. She came out and said that.
It's so... They have to keep the story going. The story has to keep going to make money.
Let me read somebody's comment in the chat. Nazi says, as long as she paid the consequences for what she's done and served her time, I could forgive her. Woo, Nazi, you in the wrong chat today, baby.
Mm-hmm.
You know, to me, it's like the story has to keep going.
Forgive her for like
hey,
going to heaven.
How can you forgive somebody that deliberately killed a child?
And please not guilty.
No, hold on. Let me rephrase that. I would, because the Bible says you have to forgive or something. Yeah. That's what I would do.
Or something.
But as I'm saying, would I ever speak to my child again? Absolutely not. We're done.
She doesn't deserve anything.
I have no sympathy for her whatsoever. If you willingly take drugs and willingly get high, you know that there is a consequence that you could do something or your children could get harmed.
Yes.
Say what, Nancy? No, if I was my daughter, I don't understand what you're saying, honey.
Like, as a Christian, I would have to forgive her, but I would never speak with her again.
But her mother's just as bad. Her mother's just as bad, you know. Her mother is just as bad. Her mother's just The only difference is her mother didn't murder him. That's the only difference.
But she willingly left her kids.
Right.
She willingly
Right.
left
That's
those
the only thing
grandkids
that
there
differentiates them.
after she and the whole thing about the CPS didn't place the kids there. That was a family agreement. It was not a CPS placement at that time.
Right. But
So
to me,
you
that
willingly said.
I don't think it was either. I don't know what to think anymore because the woman lies so much.
Right.
They lies so much.
But let's talk about
and you got manipulating.
Can we just please talk about what the real issue here is? It's not that it was okay. Yes, coulda, shoulda, woulda. You know what I mean? It could have been preventable. It didn't happen. She didn't do. She could have not done drugs, but she did it. But let's talk about what she did do. She took that child and she dumped it in a dumpster and landed in a landfill. That's what we're talking about right here. If somebody has that kind of spirit to do that kind of evil doing, I'm sorry. That's just downright evil. That's just evil. And to
me, even like BJ, to me, what she did before, what she did after the baby was dumped, it was to me with BJ.
But I don't understand because Billy Joe came out.
Let Foxfire finish because she kind of heated up. What's bothering you, Foxfire?
Thank you. I'm getting heated because I'll tell you why. The image of knowing as a parent, you bring a child into this world and something happens, even if it's a mistake or an accident or some kind of thing, and you take that child that you bore and gave birth to, that's a part of you, and just dump it like it's garbage. No, thank you. No.
Well, she said drugs make you do stupid things. She said it. Drugs make you do stupid things.
I'm sorry. Let me just finish my heat. I'm almost done. And
okay.
I'm gonna tell you, that makes it a different kind of evil right there. Don't get it twisted. I'm not saying that it's not because that's the only reason, but that is to me. Even if my daughter made a mistake or my son made a mistake or something bad happened, knowing that fucking part of my language, knowing that thing happened, that's unforgivable. Unforgivable.
Yeah, that's off the chains. That's off the charts. Evil.
I don't care about what anything else happened before or after. I mean, I do. Don't get me wrong. But that particular act said everything for me. That's it.
So would you let your daughter stay with you until they found the body?
No.
Or she went to rehab or wherever she went to go?
No, because if my daughter had a history that Leilani had, and I knew she was in a really bad place and she wasn't a good mother and she was trying all these things to change, but it just wasn't happening, and I knew her history, there's no way, like, I would have to say, listen, you need to go stay at a hotel until this is all sorted out. Like, I'm sorry. I love you. I'm going to try to find it in my heart to understand. But right now, you need to go away or I will kill you myself.
But, you know,
like Queen,
we're talking about people that aren't normal. These people aren't normal. You know, they're not normal.
I think a lot of normal people make a lot of messed up choices.
Well, I mean, we're talking a scale from 1 to 10, you know. I'd say I'm like a 7, hopefully. They're like, you have the shit that happened afterwards. You know, you want to say to your kid, come on, we're going to take you to jail. But they're freaking partying and, you know, doing weird shit.
Partying, you get a babysitter. There's nothing wrong with being adult and doing adult things. But if you're
I'm talking after the baby died. After the baby died.
Yeah, that's all
talking
wrong.
About being a prostitute and talking about being a prostitute and
because it's a poor pitiful me thing. Oh, poor pitiful me. I have one child in prison already for murder. Now my daughter could have killed my grandson. But we're not going to talk about that. We're just going to talk about what I've done and how I make 6 figures a year now, and oh, holy me.
Yeah, they're making a lot of money. She's making a lot of money.
Right, but that doesn't make it okay.
I didn't say it made it okay. I'm just stating it's a fact.
I'm proud of her for coming up and doing better, but I just, in my head, the one thing I cannot wrap around is why, you know, I understand they're not on live 24/7. It's not the Big Brother, but anytime you get on Facebook Live, people are watching you.
I can't tell.
Hey, I didn't mean she's making a lot of money. I meant she's making like a mom.
I would think somebody was paying Billy Joel to be up there. She acts like this is reality TV, and she's actually getting a check. That's how she is.
I know.
She's making a lot of money.
But never once
I really did. I felt sorry, but everybody went up there and was giving her all this, you know, like hardship and throwing hate at her, like, because I was just like, I didn't know all the story. Nobody knew all the facts. Like, here's this, woman whose daughter's being accused of something that no one's proven that she's guilty of yet, and they're up there trying to lynch her. You know what I mean?
Let me ask everybody on the panel. I'm going to start with Barbara Murray. Do you believe Billy Joe should be arrested for gross negligence of the children?
No, I don't.
Why?
Because it would never stick in court, I don't think.
Okay, Foxfire.
No comment.
Oh, why not? You've been talking all this time. You ain't got no comment now.
I'll tell you why. Because I don't know really how to answer that question.
Okay, well, that's okay. Casey Breen.
And I'll tell you
I
why.
think she should.
Okay, thank you. She don't want to agree with the Queen. Thank you.
No, listen. Half of me feels like she should, and half of me feels like she shouldn't.
She should never touch those kids again, though. Those other kids should never.
Feel like
y'all are killing me.
If you're going to take responsibility of those kids, and you willingly leave them there, knowing that something could happen,
and knowing you were working somewhere else. This is where fraud comes in. For those that are hard of hearing, this is fraud all day long. You fraud.
Still doing it.
Listen, she fraudulently went into a court, and however this shit went with the switching of the paperwork, I don't know, because I don't believe half the shit I keep hearing. You fraudulently went in there and signed those papers knowing you had no intention of keeping the kids. That's so obvious when you now want to blame Dinah McCarter as keeping the kids. Those weren't her children. It's not her kids.
Yeah.
And she's still committing fraud.
Why would you go in court to get custody of kids when you had no intention of quitting your job? Was she getting ready to get fired? Did somebody tell her, "Oh, we're firing you"? They couldn't have fired her because she never told her she got fired.
Money so she could provide for everybody and do for everybody.
But she can't take those kids on the road. That's why I'm telling you all. There's something up with her.
I agree.
I agree.
I think something going on with her getting the paperwork for those kids. What are the odds the baby goes missing and dead the next week? Do the math.
Yes, girl, I hear that.
Yeah, they're not. It's not normal. Something's wrong going.
And that's the one part of the story I can't put together. Is why would Leilani give her those paperwork to the children? Because you can't make me believe she was so disoriented from getting an eviction notice, getting the child support papers, and then walk 2 days later. Oh yeah, I'll just sign my kids over to you.
Yeah,
I don't know what I'm gonna do with myself. I know you're not gonna really keep my kids, but here's custody of my children. Come on, you guys.
I think when you ask me that, do I think she should be arrested? Yes, I do. I think she should be arrested, but I don't. Do I think it would stick? No, but I think she should be arrested. But I don't think it would stick.
Just say I don't think it'll stick. Just say what you're saying. I don't think it'll stick.
Yeah, I don't think it would.
And why not? And why not? Why you don't think it'll stick?
Because when I hear an argument on their side, that it wouldn't. It kind of seems like a jury would be full of those bumbleheads, and that would be what happens.
Or is it not even just the jury? The prosecution wouldn't want to, because that's where it starts, is the prosecution.
Right. I don't think there would be enough. There would be too much empathy for her. To me, I wouldn't have empathy,
and that's sad. That is
very sad. That is very sad, because she just did this a week before. You're going to have to question it whether she did it a week before or 2-3 months beforehand, 6 months beforehand. Why would you get paperwork for kids when you knew you worked out of town? That makes no sense. Right now, you go get your grandkid and your ass goes lay up in Mexico.
And those are facts. Those are facts. I don't know. And I don't know if it's facts, but I hope they are facts. And I hope the prosecutor, and I think Chief Hadley loathes them, like viscerally, though does not like them. That if there was something there, I think he would love to do it. Like the prosecution, or like even what they're doing now. I'm not.
Well, I got new information 2 weeks ago that they were meeting to decide what to do with her. That's what was told to me in confidence, that they were deciding on what to do with her on the state side and the criminal side. I wish they pick a box and do something, because it can't just be Leilani going to trial for killing this kid. This woman took custody of a child 1 week before. Yes. There is a reason for that. There was a meticulous orchestration to get custody for some reason. And it has to be, to me, financial, and leverage.
Yeah. And that's why I mean, when I said what I said, I don't know, because there's so many factors that have to come to fruition. Because if all of that is true, and that babysitter was not hired to look after
It
the
is
children
premeditation. I believe it's premeditation. She planned to kill her kid 1 week before, you guys. Leilani got all this paperwork on the 26th. She got the paperwork on the 26th to get out of Billy Joel's house. The child goes missing, dead a week later. After the 26th, she signs over the rights to the 2 boys on the 28th. Stay woke now.
I bet you there's text messages. I bet you there's text messages
of course.
From her to Danny. Her to Danny saying
that's probably Danny's involved, only because there's no way your girlfriend is not venting to you about Billy Joel and the situation that now you two are in together.
Of course.
Or not even together.
Oh
like
God,
he was probably
she's putting us out. She's putting us out. Oh my God, she wants us to pay child support. You want me to at least tell him that she ain't bitching to Daniel about that, Danny? You know she was.
Yep.
You know she was.
I'll kill that. She's probably like, I'll kill that kid. I know how to get her back. I'll kill her. I'll kill that bitch. I'll kill her.
That bitch. Look what she's done to me. She's never been a mother. And then her head started thinking, oh, I know how to get back at Billy Joel. I'll kill this kid because I don't really care for him anyway. She'll never put me out with a missing kid. All of them are orchestrated together. They're all sick to me.
And they all have the text
messages.
messages.
I don't know about the babysitter. You honestly think that she's involved in this somehow?
No,
No,
I'm
I
telling
don't think
you,
she
I played audio. Listen, I played audio earlier where the news lady has said someone spoke to her unidentified that Billy Joel and the babysitter needs to be looked into. I don't think the babysitter had anything to do with it.
No. They keep dragging her in there. Dragging her in there. It's like, real. Why do you hate the babysitter more than the murderer? I don't understand that.
Right? Because the babysitter has the goods on them. The babysitter is the one who originally talked to Billy Joel from the church, remember? So she knows the secrets.
Right.
Yeah.
Nobody
I don't understand.
Nobody would know the secrets had Diana kept her mouth closed.
Yeah, that's true. I think she's been threatened. She's probably been threatened. That's why she changed her story. I seen the way that crazy lady ran in that house. My baby's not there.
The way Billy Joe came into her house. Because first of all,
I saw it. We all saw it.
Into my house, regardless, you are not coming into my house and talking to me that way.
Oh, but she said
they
that
wanted to kick her out.
They're in the back door. That's what was.
Beasley B, what are you saying? The babysitter had no second thought. What are you trying to say? Babysitter isn't perfect, but she loved this child. They're attacking her because she can blow up their whole. Yes, that's why they're mad. Because she's the first person to go run her mouth to the media, to the Facebook. That's not what you want when you have secrets. You don't want people going out here talking about you and telling your business, even if it's the truth. You don't want people to know that you were geeking, getting high, leaving the kids here even when you didn't have to work, hiding and smoking cigarettes. Nobody wants that shit out there in public. Nobody wants that.
No, it's true.
Evil as they are, they don't want people knowing that.
No.
Just unreal.
Casey Green, do you know about Miss Robinson's case?
I do not.
Oh, so you don't know anything. Okay, so I can't ask you about
that. Is that the vacation case where the... Yeah, that's just unreal. I just started.
Deliberate fraud.
Is that the one from the girl was from North Carolina? And
yes, Charlotte.
So I've briefly heard about it. That's not far from me, honestly. Charlotte's not too far from me, and I've briefly heard about it. But it's hard for me to follow I can't talk. Cases that are close to home. Especially since the 18-year-old boy and the 14-year-old girl that was murdered here. That was in my hometown.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it was really hard for me to.
Well, why is it hard for you
that way.
I mean, are you a YouTuber?
No, my sister is behind the crimes with Michelle Sutton. That's my sister.
Okay, she was up here, I think, last week.
So that's what I was. She got us into your channel, honestly.
Yeah,
she shouts you out all the time.
Okay. Well, you know, it's one thing I've learned when you live in a place in the town where things happen, you do have to be careful. You know, the things you learn, just like when I brought a certain case of a certain person that I know of that was murdered recently, I have to be careful what I say. I have to be careful even the stuff that I heard last night when I was out about the case. Firsthand knowledge. That suspect is still walking around. Everybody says they know who did it, but we're trying to figure out, well, if you know who did it, why is the suspect free?
That was the same thing with the two kids here, is that the cops had eyes on the guy for a long time. I think they were trying to wait till he turned 18, but things were coming out and people were sleuthing. And so just for safety of everybody, they arrested him, and he is, thank God, being tried as an adult.
Okay. Do you know what the motive is? Have you heard what the motive is?
I have not. I've heard several different things.
Well, shoot them to me.
I don't. I mean, these are just opinions.
Okay, just say it's gossip. Just say it's gossip. Just tell me what
it's gossip. So I've heard a drug deal gone wrong. I've heard he was jealous between the little girl and the little boy were talking, and he was jealous. Those are the two main things that I've heard. Let me ask you,
did they personally know him, the suspect?
I've heard yes, and I've heard no.
See, that's dangerous, because how could they have gotten in a car with a person they don't know?
I've been watching this case. It's going into the jury right now. It's that Pike County murders, the Roden family, and they killed the 8 family members just to get custody of the one little girl.
Well, people do stuff like that. So I just showed you how sick.
And this is a sad world. We live in a sad world. I never, in my 35 years, thought I would be here today.
Yes, Latina.
Like talking about the things that we are talking about. Never in a million years would I have thought this.
I think they always happen. It's just, I don't know, more amplified.
Listen, Gigi. She really cared. Took them to church to get them out playing with other kids. Never given diapers, supplies, food. She provided it.
Yeah, and they treat her so bad, and she's the best thing that happened to
her. But that's usually, listen, isn't that usually who throws the dagger in your heart are the people who were dealing with you?
Yeah. It's like, she is she perfect? No, but
they never cared about Miss McCarter. The fact that they only offer her that, and McCarter foolishly obliged, you could have never offered me $15 or $30 to keep 3 kids. Not now, not never.
They're like little teens.
Because it was too much income in the house to be giving me $30 fucking for 3 kids. That's the bottom line.
And the food, just the food.
Well, that's my whole point. If I'm not even bringing formula and diapers, why would I bring baby food? Why would I bring snacks for the kids? Diana should have never got involved with them. And I've told people, a lot of people don't like my opinion on that, but I speak from experience. When a person shows you who they are, you have to believe them. The first day you come to my house with your kids unkempt, they don't have food, you're taking them back.
Yep. It doesn't get better.
Let me tell you something. Listen, that was a grand setup, and McCarter didn't see it. They were setting her up then. Let me see how far I can go with this lady. What they did. Let me see how far I'll go. Even if you didn't look in the bag, let's say they brought a bag with the kids, right? You go in the bag and realize there's no diapers, there's no food. Ring, call her back.
Right?
Hey,
go back and get your kids.
Home girl, I don't work like this. You're not leaving 3 kids with me unprepared.
Exactly.
See, Diana didn't speak up. There's no way I would have been down this road 6 months, 10 months with nobody for no $30 and not bringing the kids food or clothes, whatever the hell they needed. Just like when Diana said she was texting Billy Joe about the kids needing clothes, that showed you right there, Diana McCarter was in too deep. That's a conversation you should not even be having with somebody. Because as she said, Billy Joe's the one that had custody of the kids and was orchestrating everything. Then that's stupid that Leilani is the one dropping the kids off, but yet you're texting Billy Joe about everything that goes bump in the night pertaining to the kids. Diana set herself up for that. She should have left those people alone. They were using her. They were using her.
Yeah.
And the people like her, they're a dime a dozen. There's a Billy Joe walking around. There's a Dinah McCarter walking around. There's a Leilani walking around. There's a Mr. Howell working around. There's a cousin, Paul, Dick, Sue. There's people just like them. You just ain't met them yet, and they ain't made the news.
It's so true. So true.
They use that lady. I smelled it as soon as she started talking about her. That, her original meeting was with Billy Joe, but yet Billy Joe was nowhere around. I said, yeah, they sucker punched her, and she fell for it. There's no way they would have respect for her. How could you have respect for somebody? You're bringing your kids there and you're offering them a few dollars, and then you don't even send the kids there prepared with diapers and food. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I done raised mine. I ain't raising no more. Is what I would
That's
have
what
told
I'm saying, sure. And she has her own kids.
Right.
She has her own kids.
I was a single mother and I raised my child. He's 19 years old. There was not one day where he went without a diaper or without milk or without food.
No children. All the children in the state's care, it's been revealed by the news. The children are not with any relatives of Billy Joe Howe.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Welcome, Candace. Candace is in my chat. For those who do not follow my content, Candace's sister is the one that just went on trial for kidnapping a small child.
Okay.
A few years ago, Candace is the sister of Derek Brown. She was found guilty of kidnapping alongside Patrick Stallworth. They will be facing a state trial of murder of a said child who was murdered and dumped in a dumpster. Welcome, Candace. She's in the chat.
Hello, Candace.
Hi, Miss Candace. Well, Miss Queen, I want to thank you for letting me.
Oh, you're welcome, sweetheart.
Anytime. I do watch your channel a lot. You tell it like it is. You're not scared.
I love it. I know.
And you are my kind of person. Like,
Me too.
I'm gonna shoot it. I'm gonna hurt your feelings whether you want me to or not.
Well,
Don't
that's
ask
right.
me my opinion if you don't want me to tell your truth.
The reason why I rub people the wrong way is because, one, I don't sugarcoat nothing, and two, I want people to think. I always tell my chat members that when you come in this playhouse and you start throwing out speculations in this, I want you to tell yourself, does it make sense to you? You understand what I'm saying? Because it's easy to just throw out something, but I always tell people, think about what you're saying and ask yourself, does it make sense? And we already know that we're dealing with illogical people, so sometimes it ain't going to make no sense because it's really no sense in murdering a 2-year-old.
No.
You know, that 2-year-old had done.
There's no sense in murdering a 2-year-old. There's no sense in murdering 4 kids in a house. They're all the same.
The bottom line is those 2 women had no business having those children.
No, they shouldn't. And that's where I'm trying to get an understanding is what was going on with BJ to get the custody 1 week before, because you have to admit that's substantial.
Like I said, I've seen the paperwork that someone was on your channel speaking about. I have seen it, and that was not the CPS placement. That was after Quinton went missing, and it says nothing about Quinton in there.
Okay.
The other one was a family agreement, but still, it was a family agreement that said, "I am going to take the kids from you because you are not responsible enough to hold your kids."
And she would have to pay.
And that they couldn't be left alone. And everybody says, well, she wasn't left alone. Danny was in the house and Paul was in the house.
Yeah.
Well, she could manipulate Danny and Paul too.
Yeah. Well, you see how the brother was sitting there on the lawn. That really disturbed me too when they were sitting out the lawn and heckling back with the hecklers. The brother's sitting right there. That's disturbing. Why are you sitting with these people? You know they killed this kid and you're just sitting out there smoking a cigarette. I don't care what nobody say, man, that's a bad look.
It was.
Look,
And here's another
everybody that
thing.
knows my sister and knows me knows that me and my sister are really, really, really close. But lo and behold, something like this was to happen. I promise you, I would not be sitting nowhere near my sister.
Okay.
And listen, I know, and I'm not going to say one way or the other about Cher's channel. I'm not going to, share that's my personal feeling. But in my opinion, and in my opinion only, that family didn't have the heart to make a banner for their grandchild, but yet they made a banner for her channel. That's all I'm saying.
Facts.
So
I might want to get a new life coach.
Yeah, and listen, Miss Shenanigans, I love you. I think you're a little bit of Medea, and that woman, I love her character. I think she's the most amazing character that was ever created. And
what did you just say? What did you say just now? I didn't hear what you said.
I said I like that you have a little bit of Medea in you. Like
Yeah,
that. Fierce.
Okay, Medea. But before the Medea comment, you said something about something else. I couldn't catch what you were saying.
Oh, what did I say, Casey? How do you
Were
remember?
you talking about that banner? Were you talking about the banner?
Yes.
The banner.
Oh, yes,
She was
the
saying
banner.
they
What
couldn't
about-
make
listen.
a banner for Quinton, but they could make one for Cher's channel.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Oh, you said you don't agree with it?
Well, I don't think that. No, I don't agree with it because, honestly, they didn't make a banner for the baby. So
Well, they had an excuse for that because that was asked, and then Cher talked around that, She talked around that like he was in the back and this and that. Okay, so basically you're saying what we've already been saying. He was never important. I'm going to keep saying that.
It's exactly.
The baby was never important.
No.
He was in the back.
It's
The
just
back of
shared a lot.
where?
Yeah, the banner was in the back for him.
That's right.
In the back where nobody could see it?
Well, they're making excuses, sweetheart.
There was no banner.
My bad. I misunderstood. I thought that if you really supported, loved your grandson and stuff, you would have that on the front so everybody could see it, not somebody else's YouTube channel.
Yeah, but see, that's the whole point of what I've been saying throughout this entire story. When they show you how they treat the dead, that's how they thought of them when they were living.
Yep. Thank you.
You were going to put a banner up in front of your house of some random woman in another country. The rest is self-explanatory.
Exactly. Thank you. Those two things, the dumping the child in the garbage and that banner spoke volumes as to
That's what I'm saying.
It's all about.
And then all the jumping up and down. 1 minute you're talking bad about your daughter geeked up on a news broadcast. Then the next minute you're sitting outside on the lawn. Before that, you're partying up in Tybee. See, let me tell you what BJ's been doing. She's straddling the fence according to the information as it unfolds.
What she needed to be was
That's what she's been doing. If it folds like they ain't got no proof, I'm gonna ride with my daughter. But when it starts looking a little grainy, I'm gonna throw her under the bus. See, she's flip-flopped the whole 6-7 weeks of the story.
I can see that.
Okay, little Deb, even if let's go that route. Even if Cher sent the banner to her.
Not the next Wendy Williams. Well, we see how Wendy Williams turned out, so tread lightly on that.
willingly put that banner up instead of her grandson.
Well,
yeah.
You're right. She was never a mama, but had she been a mama, maybe things would have changed out.
I put it up there. I put it up there because I wanted it up there. Nobody forced her to put that banner up there. What she say? She's been supporting me. Hell yeah, I put it up there. And now you all are coming out with all these rumors about the father and burning up people. So guess what? That's the same person's face that was on that banner. I rest my case.
There you go. There you go. Facts.
And the fact you're sleeping in a house where somebody killed a kid, and I just brought you information, yesterday or the day before, where the cops said, we went to the dumpster because of what was in the house. Bingo card. Oh, you missed that, didn't you?
Yep.
What was left behind at the house, Leilani?
Yep.
Right.
See,
Too high to have that evidence.
Everybody's been so focused on that dumpster. They finally gave you a little bit of tea the other day in the article saying it's what was at the house is what led us to the dumpster.
Yep. And I knew they were going to find something in that house because when they had covered it up.
Yeah, that was day one. That was day one.
Day one, they knew what was going on.
So that should tell you, you don't know, one, what she did to the kid, how she hurt the kid, harmed the kid, but he telling you malice, murder. I've always said that. A child doesn't end up in a dumpster by mistake. It's planned. Who the hell throws away a kid? You don't throw away an adult when they hurt themselves.
Oh, it just makes my heart. I can't. It's sickening.
Throw your baby away because it was an accident. Yeah, okay.
I can't with that. No.
No, because if it was an accident, you would have called 911 freaking out.
If you cared, the only people that would throw you away if it was an accident is the people who know that they could be found guilty and liable for the death, such as an unclean home, unkempt home. You know you've been in trouble with the law. You're an avid drug user, drunk. Hell yeah, I can see you throwing a kid in the dumpster even if it was an accident because you know they're going to look at you anyway. And you've had dealings with CPS. You're going to throw the baby in the dumpster or dump him in the woods, wherever.
Yeah.
If they really thinks that Cher is her friend and has it in for her, then I'm sorry. She might really need some help. I don't see that. I'm sorry. I don't.
One day, and I took the squirrel, put it in a bag, and brought it in my car. I was like, my son was with me. We buried it. We said a little prayer. Like, I can't see how a living person could take another living person like that, your own flesh and blood, and just do that kind of thing.
But people do it all the time.
They're not human.
Listen, I just brought you a case the other week about the little black boy out of Texas who was adopted. The father killed him. The mother, she ate it as well. And they fed the news, the cockamamie story back in the summer, that the father came home, couldn't find the wife, couldn't find the little boy. The police were searching all out in the dark. And guess where he was? In the garage, in the washing machine.
Oh my gosh.
And we kept trying to figure out, when I brought this content to this network about 2 weeks ago, if it was water in or out, because a reporter asked the police that and he wouldn't answer. So that told me, yeah, it had to be water in there, because you'd say yes or no.
Right.
So that's part of the autopsy. Drowned, possibly drowned, suffocated, and beat up.
Dear God, that poor baby. All these poor babies that go through this, I can't.
Who puts a baby in a fucking washing machine? But Candace can tell you in the chat, who is the sister of Derek Brown, who lost all her children to foster care to her aunt. That was one of the allegations against Derek years ago, that she put one of her children in a washing machine. I don't know if the child was if it was water in the machine or not. But that was an allegation against Derek Brown. And Derek Brown doesn't have any of her children at the time of her kidnapping Camille McKinney. And Candace has been on this channel and spoken before. And they had a very troubled life growing up. Their mother was a user of drugs. But Candace now has a child. She works every day. So she's one of those children that beat the odds out of foster care. But her sister did not.
Candace, I will continue to pray for you and your healing, and you're doing amazing. If you have beat the system and you have beat the odds, I'm very proud of you. I don't know you. I don't know you, but I will 100% will keep you in my prayers.
Same.
Yeah. So it can happen. The children grow up in foster care, and some can turn out, decent and do something with themselves, and then some don't. And it's a flip of the coin, because when you get to a certain age, such as 18 or over, people really don't care what happened to you as a kid. Nobody cares if you were abused by your mother, your father, SA. They expecting you to act accordingly. It's just the way the world is designed. And we know that's the reason why a lot of people act the way they act. We all come from somebody. We all have ways because of how we were treated. That's just common sense. But when you become an adult, nobody cares. They want you to act right. It's just the way we think. Hey, what's wrong with you? Straighten up, tighten your shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But nobody knows that you probably were beat up as a kid, abused as a kid, sexually assaulted by your parent or uncle or aunts, and now you're 18, 19, you don't have no direction, you don't know where to go. The state relinquish you from the state, you ain't got nowhere to sleep. That's a terrible way. Next thing you know, you're hooking up with the wrong people, and before you know it, you're a news story.
Absolutely.
That's how it happens.
It's true. It is so true. Facts. It is so true.
Any one of us going to be out here in trouble, on the news, drug, whatever, stick up guy, whatever, because it happens.
It does.
But we hope that people will say, well, I don't want to live like that, because I've seen better. I've seen people living good. They got a nice home, got a nice car, but it's like rolling the dice to hope somebody's going to wake up one day and say, hey, I want this great life. Hey, I know I should go to school, get an education. If there's nobody pushing them, that's where they're going to be. They're going to be a street person.
And if nobody's there to help support them or give them
That's right. And so then you're out here just doing what you got to do to survive and eat.
That's right, to survive. But yep.
So that's where breaking the law comes in. So it's a catch-22. But then the flip side could be you had a great life, great family, and then you're diabolical.
Exactly. There's no rhyme and reason. I know, it's crazy.
You like playing with dead animals. You want to start cutting them up. Now you want to start inviting men back to your apartment. See where I'm going?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay.
I know that case well. Oh, Lord. Anyway, thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome.
I'm so glad I found you.
Happy holidays to all of you.
Fresh air.
Happy holidays.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Casey.
Holidays.
Thank you, Foxfire. All right. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. All right, everybody. Those are my guests. Candace, did you want to come up, Candace? Tell me what you think about what's happened with your sister. You want to share that before I check out of here? Because I'm already approaching hour number 3. Okay, hold on one second. Hit me up. You know how to hit me up. Here, I'll call you. I'll let you speak to the chat so they can get an idea of what's been going on with you and your sister. Thank you all for joining me. If you want to donate to this great network, $, Big Angie, 129 Cash App. All stickers and chats are welcome during this time. Hello, how are you doing, dear?
I'm doing pretty good, you?
Fine, how's the baby?
He's right here, just staring off into space. He's alright.
Oh, shoot, look, drop my other remote. All right, before do you want to give your opinion pertaining to Quinton Simon's case, his mother, or Shanquella Robinson before we talk about your sister?
I haven't really seen much of it, but I caught wind of it, a little bit of it.
Okay.
Wasn't she visiting like
a villa?
Mexico, right?
She's on vacation. She's on vacation with some alleged friends.
Right. Well, the thing is like, did she even know? I mean, how long she been knowing her friends?
Listen, they said they all went to school together. Honey, I don't know all the details because when you start talking about this type of stuff, you're gonna get bits and pieces of stuff. I don't know what's the truth, accurate, but allegedly they all went to college together. They knew of each other. That's the most I know.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like, I was listening to that on the news or something like that, and I heard that she got, like, even they had a warrant out for them too as well.
One warrant. Yeah.
They must have been like, they found out something about them or something like that.
There's a video, Candace.
What did you say?
I said there's a video being released. They released it 5 days after the death of the girl. They released the video. Stupidly, they released it where it shows one of the girls beating her up.
I didn't see the video.
Okay. Well, ain't nobody supposed to be showing it because it's against YouTube rules to be showing that kind of stuff.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I have to find the video then.
You might find it on TikTok. I'm not sure.
Oh, I'm not on TikTok.
Okay. Thank you, Dixon.
I can. Is it on Instagram? I can find it on Instagram or something like that.
I don't know. I don't know because everybody's got policy, sweetheart. Because the girl is dead now.
I know. Yeah. That's crazy.
Okay, well, let's talk about your sister briefly. How do you feel about the guilty kidnapping verdict pertaining to your sister?
I wasn't surprised when I heard about it because the lawyer talked to me. She called me. Well, she texted me. I didn't really find out till later on, the day after that. And I basically was like, well, to me, to be honest with you, I was like, well, justice served.
Okay.
She shouldn't did what she did. I felt bad for the little girl that she had to lose her life due to somebody, family member hands. And I was like, yeah. So I was like, the guilty verdict, I feel like it was just, it caught everything she did caught up to her. The lies, not owning up to what she did.
Okay.
It caught up to her. They figured out, and it's like, I'm glad that now she's behind bars.
So you do believe your sister kidnapped this child?
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Okay, I'm just asking. Okay. So have you talked to your sister since the guilty verdict of the kidnapping?
No, I haven't. I haven't not.
Do you plan on talking to her?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Have you talked to her before the guilty verdict?
No, I haven't recently talked to her. It's been like way over a month since I haven't talked to my sister. Because I think I don't have the funds to do any visit like that yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what did the lawyer say to you basically?
She just told me that she was found guilty.
Okay.
She didn't really go into the details about what happened.
Okay.
I was supposed to talk to my auntie and she's supposed to tell me what happened.
Yeah.
But I've been trying to call my auntie, but she's not answering her phone.
Why not?
But I don't know.
When was the last time you tried calling your aunt?
Maybe 2 days ago, I think.
Well, when was the last time you talked to her before that?
I literally talked to her like maybe 3 days ago.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been trying to call her. Cause she was supposed to. I was at work, cause we've been off for a week for Thanksgiving, and last week, I was on a Friday last week actually, and I called her to check up on her, and then she told me that she also told me she would call me back later and tell me about the guilty verdict. I guess something might have. I don't know. I'm not sure. But the way she said she was going to tell me about what happened, hopefully nothing happened in the courtroom. But with all those emotions and the hurt and all that, you bound to have something happen in the courtroom. Maybe one of the family members probably got mad when they saw my sister.
Yeah.
You know, so I could understand how they felt.
You know, there's a lot of crazy stuff that came out in the news pertaining to Patrick last month. Well, 2 months would be October, I guess. When he went to trial, they were saying that one of the nurses had been talking to him and they had formed some type of relationship where they were telling each other they loved each other. And she denied it was anything like that. But she no longer works at the jail. And the white nurse who said she heard him admit to hurting the child or something, he denied it. And then the black nurse said she never heard Patrick Starworth say that he hurt Camille McKinney.
Of course she's not going to say that.
But I'm saying, have you heard about this, that the two nurses?
No, I just know. No, I haven't. I remember you mentioned it too on your last live when we talked about it.
Okay.
Yeah, but I never heard anything for you. No.
Let me ask you something. Do you think your sister even realizes what the hell is going on?
I'm gonna be honest.
So they said she didn't show. Listen, they said she didn't. I think they said she didn't show any remorse in court, no emotion. So I'm wondering, do you? Because I don't think you really know your sister, because you all really weren't around each other as adults. Okay. Okay. So I really can't ask you that question because you don't know her. So I wonder if she just realizes, if she knew what she was doing, because I think she didn't know what she was doing when they kidnapped, stalking the kids. They were trying to get some other girls earlier. But I'm wondering if in her mind, she don't really recognize the process and what she's done. Or is it just an act? I don't know. Because I can't see her face to see what she looks like.
I'm not even sure about that. I'm stumped about that. Because I heard, I think my auntie did mention it too, that my sister didn't feel any remorse about it.
Yeah.
She was remorseful.
Yeah.
I'm trying to call my auntie probably tomorrow and see if she would tell me more about it, because I've been trying to contact her, but maybe she got busy, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I've been just doing my own thing, enjoying my Thanksgiving. I haven't really, to be honest with you, I stopped caring about the case and stuff like that, really, because it's like, it was no point of like caring about it, because I kind of knew the outcome of it. I just knew deep down that it wasn't going to be pretty for my sister. I just knew. I just had a feeling it wasn't going to work out.
And you know what I think is interesting? The trial was short, just like his trial was short. Both are very short.
Yeah, I didn't think nothing was going to work in our favor anyway.
Yeah.
I think they had all the evidence they needed to pin it on her too as well. So I was like, okay.
Well, you know, the DNA was on a mattress cover, hers, his, and the child's. So you got to explain, why is this child's DNA mixed in with yours in a house where she didn't belong, didn't live, and you allegedly didn't know the child?
Yeah, that is suspicious too. So you had to know something had to happen there. Yeah, that's what I was like. I wasn't surprised about it at all.
Well, when you were talking to your sister the last time you all talked, what do you all talk about? If you don't mind me asking.
Well, okay, this is the thing. I was told that I wasn't allowed to talk about the case because I didn't want to, make things worse, or, and so we never mentioned anything about it. We just talked about, maybe, Instagram posts. I literally, got on my Instagram. Because she had an Instagram and Facebook account.
Okay.
And so I signed in to her Instagram account through my account. So that's how because she showed pictures of she was showing the other inmates there what she used to look like and stuff like that before she went to jail.
Okay.
And it was just stuff like that, and showing her kids to them too.
So why do you think she's looking at pictures of how she used to look?
I don't know. Maybe she just, I guess because she missed the life of being
reminiscent of being free.
No, she just reminiscing about the past stuff like that because she had her nails done a lot.
Okay. Yeah, but that's what I'm trying to say. Candace. She's not free to do anything. She doesn't have anything but her memories.
Yeah. So yeah, that was pretty much all we talked about. Other than she saw her nephew on the video. That's pretty much it.
So did she sound like she was sorry for what she's done to the child?
Nope. Because she always optimistic about everything.
Really?
And I'm like, she never sound like she I'm gonna be honest, it was creepy at the same time because she never how a person really sorry about something, they always cry and they guilty about something. She never seemed guilty. She always had a smile on her face. Always.
Well, did she ever mention the child? Did she ever mention the child, Candace?
She did not. That was what?
Did she ever talk about Patrick?
Nope, she didn't mention Patrick either.
Lord have mercy. So what do y'all talk about? Just how she looked when she was free?
Just basically stuff like that. Asking me about memories about what we used to do when we was little, stuff like that. So
that's all she's got. She doesn't have the chance of getting out, so she don't have anything to talk about that could be that could be conducive to a future because she's not getting out of there. She may also face she is facing the death penalty. So how do you feel about your sister possibly dying in prison by death?
I don't feel no type of way about it. I have no type of emotions about that.
Okay.
To be honest with you.
I'm just saying you wouldn't feel bad if they put your sister to death.
I mean, yeah, I would feel bad about it because but at the same time, she committed a crime and they got the death penalty on her. Then just how it's gonna be.
Okay, I'm just asking.
I'm hurt.
Well, let me ask you something. Do you think she still has feelings for Patrick Starworth? Hello?
I'm here.
Do you think she still have feelings for Patrick Starworth?
Not that I know of.
Oh, she don't talk about him. Say nothing. Okay. Does she ever talk about her children?
Yeah, she talked about her children.
What did she say?
She said she missed them and stuff like that, and she be showing, like I said, she showed pictures of her kids and stuff like that.
Okay, so does your auntie show her recent pictures of the children and how they're doing?
No, my auntie haven't.
Why not?
I don't know. I don't really ask.
What does she even talk to your sister?
Oh yes, she does. Well, actually, I lied. Sorry. I actually did a video call with my auntie and I seen my nieces and nephews on video call. They look pretty okay. They look okay. They're energetic and
But I'm saying your aunt doesn't talk to Derek.
Yeah, she does. She talked to Derek whenever my aunt sends. I think my auntie sends her money every month.
Oh wow, I can't believe that she sends her money. Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I could do more, but I can't with the situation I have a new baby, so my finances is kind of spread out everywhere. So I could sometimes I sent my sister maybe $40 some one time, but that was because I had extra there. I only send her money whenever I can, but at the moment, right now, I can't do it.
Okay,
So that's
you don't have to explain all that. I was just asking you, was your aunt speaking to her or talking to her? I didn't know if they was on speaking terms or not. I did not know.
Yeah, they talk, and the lawyer, I think they talk to a lot. So
do her children know what she did?
Yes, I think so.
How old is the youngest?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I haven't known my nieces and nephews since they was. I didn't meet all my nieces and nephews.
How many children does she have total, Candace?
She has 6.
So 6 children. She got a set of twins too, right?
Yeah, she got 2 sets of twins.
2 sets of twins. Okay. The 2 sets of twins. Do they have the same father?
I'm not sure. I never met the father.
Well, how old is the oldest child?
Ooh, you asking the wrong person.
I'm just asking. I just to get the information out. Okay. Well, I'm not gonna hold you. I'm just trying to see what you thought about the case. Your sister is facing a state trial, and the prosecutors are seeking the death penalty against your sister, Derek Brown, and Patrick Stallworth. For those in the chat that do not know what I'm talking about, a few years ago, a little black girl out of Birmingham, Alabama, was kidnapped out of the Tom Brown housing development, and Derek Brown, who was the sister of Candace, and Patrick Stallworth lured the child out of the projects, took her to their apartment, murdered the child, and threw her away in a construction dumpster that neighbored the apartment adjacent to theirs through a pathway. That dumpster ended up going into the landfill, and the child allegedly sat in that dumpster for about, I believe, 10 days. And then Derek Brown is the one that gave the information to where the child could be located. Each pointed the finger at each other during this kidnapping trial, and both have now been found guilty of kidnapping of said child, and each will be facing a state trial of murder of Camille McKinney, better known as Cupcake. Mercy.
I'll be honest with you, I kind of cut most of my siblings off because of the negativity too, because of they weren't they don't. Okay, the thing is about that is that most of the time I don't really associate myself with my brothers and my sisters because I have a husband now, and then he's not gonna let anybody come in between, me and try to use me and stuff like that. And my sister and my brothers they do that.
So let me slow down. So your husband thinks what? That your family has been trying to use you?
No. I'm talking about my sister and my younger brother.
That's what I'm saying. Does he think they were using you? That's what I'm asking you.
Not my family, not the whole family.
I didn't say the whole family, Candace. I said those 2 that you're naming.
Oh, yes, because they weren't fun of my marriage. I have a husband that supports me, and that they can't use me anymore, or as a way for them to I don't know how they thought they was gonna use me, but anyways, I have to let them know that now that I'm married.
Well, how old are these brothers and sisters, Candace?
My sisters, my oldest sister, she's
no, not Quintessa. I'm talking about the ones that aren't approving of the marriage, sweetheart.
Her.
Huh?
It was her and my 2 brothers.
Oh my God! What does Quintessa has to say? She is incarcerated for murdering a child.
No, listen. I'm adding to something.
Yeah, you're throwing me off now.
I'm sorry. But I'm just saying, my relationship with my sister hasn't been good even during the trial, because whenever I talk to my sister, whenever I try to include my husband and stuff like that, all of them don't like talking to him for some reason. I don't know why.
Talking to who? I can't hear your baby crying. Who don't like talking to who?
My brothers and sisters doesn't like talking to my husband because he like when he knows that they're lying about something, he literally will let them know what they're saying is not true or whatever. If they talking BS or something about something, and he'll shut them down real quick. And that's what they don't like because they don't like that my husband is very outspoken. And he's gonna tell them, he gonna let them know. But if they talking to me about something that he don't think is true, that's what I'm saying. So they had a problem with that.
I see.
And so, yeah.
So your two brothers, what is their problem with your husband? Even though this is off the topic, but what is the problem with them?
Well, this thing is that my brothers, it's just that because when my brothers, like something happened with them where they live at, and they call me because they want me to take their side. But the thing is that my husband and me are basically like, we want facts about what's going on. We don't want no half story about stuff. And that's the same thing with my sister. What I'm saying is that they don't speak the whole truth about everything. And then they want to lie about stuff. And we don't, they cause issues with me. And so I don't really talk to my sisters anymore, my sister or my brothers anymore.
Wow, that's sad. It's sad.
Yeah, because of I can't concentrate myself with that type of negativity.
Well, are these brothers younger than you or older than you, Candace?
My brothers are younger than me.
Okay. Well, how does your husband feel about this trial that has come, this kidnapping trial against your sister? How does he feel about all that information?
Well, he says it's a good thing that she's behind.
Yes, it is. It is.
Yeah, because they had no business hurting that little girl, period.
Right.
And what was she doing with them anyway?
Yeah.
They don't. Yeah.
Well, we already know that when people are looking for children, it's for nefarious reasons.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Like,
that's the sick part.
I was like I said, I'm not surprised by anything like that anymore. When I heard that she was gonna get there, I was like, well, I'm gonna be honest, I was glad because all this stuff is over with. Not really over with, but like the truth came out.
Okay.
What was happening?
Yeah.
Because there's like he say and she say stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that like all of that was put out in the open. So we all know what really happened on that day.
Yeah.
And I said, like I said, just was her, whether she was my family or not. And I don't discriminate when it comes to that.
Well,
I love my sister, but she committed a crime. She murdered somebody, took somebody's family member away from them.
Yeah. Yeah. She killed a child. She killed a child. Let me ask you something. Yeah. Who do you believe killed the child, your sister or Patrick?
At first, I thought that Patrick did.
Okay.
But as I progressed, I started to believe that they both had something to do with it too.
Okay. So you believe one did the killing and the other one was in agreement to the killing?
Yeah, basically.
Okay. How does your mother feel about the guilty verdict of the kidnapping?
Well, I don't know. I haven't talked to her in a minute.
Oh wow.
But when I was talking to her at first, she always say that my sister's innocent.
Okay. So your mother believes your sister Quintessa, better known as Derek Brown, which is whoever, is innocent of murdering Camille McKinney. That's what you're telling me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
She told me.
Does your mother have any regrets for how your sister turned out?
You said what again?
Does your mother have any regrets for how your sister turned out? Does she ever talk about how your sister turned out to be a baby killer?
No, not that I know of. No.
Do you ever ask your mother? You don't talk to your mother about how she feel?
Yeah. I talked to her. It's been like months.
Oh, so it's been a while since y'all talked. Okay.
The last time I talked to her, her and my sister didn't really have a good relationship anyway.
Yeah.
From the get go.
Yeah.
But they always and on a lot. So she never really was close to Quintessa.
Okay.
She never.
But she believes in her. But she believes in her innocence. Could it be possible your mother's in denial because of how she did not raise you all and didn't do right by y'all?
Yeah, I think she's in denial. At first, I was too. At first, I was in denial as well. Then I started realizing evidence was pointing all to Quinton and Patrick, and it just. At first it was too much for me to handle a little bit too. I said that, but to me, the thing is I'm all about facts. This me, I'm all about facts, getting down to the bottom of the thing, and finding out what's going on. Both with Quinton and Patrick and stuff. When I heard about all the things that they were saying in court, it kind of my mind a little bit because I didn't really expect that at first.
Oh yeah.
Thinking that at first I did thought that maybe she was asleep or something doing it because at the time when it first happened, when I first heard about it, I was like, no, my sister can't do that. No, I didn't think so. And then when she said that I think my sister said that she was asleep when he was doing stuff with
the little girl. She said she woke up, that first testimony, she woke up and he was having sexual relations with the child. That was mentioned in court. That was mentioned in court a week or so ago too.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I was like, okay, well, and I never knew my sister to be a heavy sleeper anyway.
Okay.
I never knew her to be. I'm pretty sure you hear something and let's say you hear something while you sleep, you're going to wake up.
Well, do you believe that's the truth? Listen, do you believe that's the truth that she woke up and saw him and the little girl engaged in sex, or you think she's just making that up?
I thought she was making that up.
Okay. What part do you think she was making up, Candace?
Well, the part where she said that what at first she actually told on herself too, because my auntie explained this to me too. She said that Quinton said that she was asleep, she woke up, but how can you know what's going on if you asleep? That's the thing. She explained about that she heard something. I'm like, you can't hear anything if you sleep.
Well, maybe she wasn't explaining it properly because we know she's lied, he's lied. They both point the finger at each other as the one who took the child. He's saying he didn't know the child was in the house. She's saying she woke up or got in the car, the baby was in there. Each got, similar versions of trying to remove themselves as taking the child. But on the camera, you see two people walk by the children playing. And that is believed to be him and her.
Well, that video, I was told that was from another area or something like that.
It's on the backside. It's showing the backside of the property where she was playing.
Okay, so that was McKinney then.
Yes, it was. They just showed the two little kids. The one little girl is that little girl. Listen, the one little girl is Ava, which is her cousin. We finally got her name when they went to court. They were out there playing, other kids playing around, but you only see the two little kids. So you see one person walk by, then the second person walk by. They're obviously saying something to the child, and then McKinney follows, which I believe is your sister. That's person number 2.
Yeah. I'm just because the video I seen was too grainy, so I couldn't tell what
well, nobody can tell, but that's the whole point, is that children and people pointed out the truck. That's how they was able to track down your sister and Patrick Stallworth. The children identified the truck. They were out there playing. Because they were on their tail immediately once they went and called 911 that the child was gone. The children remember what the truck looked like. And remember the little boy said, I saw little feet getting into the car?
Yeah, he did.
Okay, yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because children are smart. Children are like little sponges. So they suck up stuff better than grown-ups. That's why children remember stuff. And you had a lot of children out there. There's no telling how many kids were out there that could say, hey, I saw this, I saw that. And then his truck, with your sister in the truck, they had accosted the two girls trying to get them in the car. Then another woman testified. Then another lady testified and said they was on her cul-de-sac looking for a little kid. And your sister asked about the little girl, asking, do you know about a little mixed girl? So they were out hunting kids. It's a sick story, but I believe it.
I didn't know that they asked about the one. Now, that's the first time I heard that.
Well, that's my first time hearing it too. But see, that's the thing about investigation. People don't know everything. That's why I always tell people, well, you can't keep passing rumors and lies and you don't know what you're spreading. You don't know what people were doing at the time of a crime. You don't know what the police has.
Yeah, true. Oh, man.
But a lady has testified in court last week that your sister and the boyfriend were in a car outside her house asking about a little mixed girl that used to live there. And I think the little girl and mama still stayed there. That was even more crazy.
But it's crazy. I was looking for the trial on YouTube, but I couldn't find it.
It's not going to be on. It wasn't. No cameras were allowed in the courtroom, sweetheart.
Oh, okay. That's why then. Because usually they have in a high-profile case like that.
Well, if it's federal, no cameras are allowed in a federal trial in a courtroom. So this is a federal trial. Your sister was facing federal kidnapping charges alongside Patrick Starworth. No cameras are allowed in a federal courtroom. Now, she's facing state charges for murder. They may have cameras in there if the judge allows it.
Yeah. But with the I don't know what to say about
So are you stunned? Are you stunned now to know that your sister and her boyfriend were out hunting children?
Oh man, I knew they were doing that before, but I only knew about
the other girls that day near the apartment complex. Near Tom Brown.
Yeah, I didn't know about
About the other lady, yeah. Well, nobody knew. I didn't know either until I read it.
Yeah, that's why I was like, what?
I bet you never thought your sister was, even though you didn't really get to know your sister well growing up because you all were separated, but it would be hard to wrap your head around knowing your sister was out hunting children and for nefarious reasons. Because we already know that most people, when they go hunt a child and then take them home and do things to them and kill them, it's because they were doing nasty business with the kids. That would have to be very hard for you to wrap your head around your sister being like that.
Yeah.
And the fact that she's a mother of girl children, you would have to question what was going on with your sister and her girl children and boy children. And if she allowed anybody else to do anything nefarious to the children when she had custody of it.
Yep.
Let me ask you something. Most specialists will tell you that a pedophile and a sadist cannot change. That is a rapist, child molester, and a serial killer. Do you think your sister could change?
I believe she can. I believe anybody.
Do you really?
Yeah, I believe anybody can change.
So if you believe, so let's say your sister sexually assaulted the little girl and murdered her. You think your sister could change?
Yes, I think everybody can change. I've changed and I was bad. I was bad behavior.
But listen, you have not raped a child or molested or killed a child, Candace.
No, I know that. I'm just saying though.
But that's not the same. But that's not the same, sweetheart.
Okay. Yeah, it's not the same, but I feel like everybody can change. That's one of my beliefs I always had. Anybody can.
Well, even when the stats, okay, how about this? Even when the stats show that sadists cannot change, you still believe your sister, if indeed she sexually assaulted the little girl, you could see your sister coming out right now and rearing children.
You said, can you repeat that last part one more time?
If your sister was released today, you could see your sister rearing children, her children, or any other children again. You think your sister would be safe around children?
No, of course not. No, of course not.
Okay, so you just answered. Well, then you contradicting yourself when you say she could change.
No, what I'm trying to say is that I'm talking about like, no. Okay, okay. No, what I'm saying is that that people can change whether they did a heinous crime or not. If they and even though, like I said, of course she's gonna always have. Let's say if she were to be released, I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but I'm saying that if she were to be released right now, her life would not be the same. Period, whether she's out or not. People won't trust her around kids. But if she's truly changed, if she really kind of like was guilty and remorseful about what she did, I feel like yes, there's a possibility she can. Anybody can be changed about whatever situation.
Okay. Well, there's people in the chat saying no, sir. Pedo and a sadist can't. It's an urge, power control. No, if you like children, you cannot change. Don't apologize. You're absolutely right. Okay, Suzanne, I guess it's on her team. Oh, Lord have mercy. Well, I'm going by what most pedophiles have told. Rapists have said it, and serial killers. If I was released today, I'd do the same thing I did that got me in here. I've only listened to one person in an interview that I played a month or so ago where a guy said he feel like he'd be safe around anybody's child, but nobody would believe that because they feel like you have a penchant for children. Why would I think you'd be safe around my child when you've admitted to molesting your own children?
No, I'm not saying that.
I'm not talking to you. I'm speaking of what someone said.
Yeah. Because you're gonna have people that be like if they see you, they think that you might be looking at their children.
Well, why would they not? But think about it. Why would I not think you would be looking at my child and I know you've molested a child?
Yeah, that's why I say your past comes to hunt you.
Of course.
Yeah, I know that.
But I think it's interesting that you believe your sister could change with that type of deviant thought process, because that's a known process, Candace, that is hard to change. It's not like gambling. It's not even like smoking or drinking. It is a deviance. It's hard to get that out of your process in your head.
Well, I mean, I might be wrong, but I mean, to me, I always have faith. But
well, I'm saying you're thinking of a Christian way of, well, God forgives us if they have remorse. He tells us to repent. But that's the thing about repenting. Am I truly sorry for what I've done, or am I just saying it? But deep down inside, I like what I'm doing. And I've talked to many people such as people who use drugs, not to compare that to being a pedophile, but they'll tell you, I like getting high. I don't want to stop getting high. I have no need to stop getting high. You want me to stop getting high, but I don't want to.
Right. I mean, I understand where you're coming from on that, though.
Okay.
But I get it. I mean, she's in there now, so.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to be mean, but I'm just giving you the stats that the people have spoken for themselves who are sadists, and many will tell you they can't change because they enjoy what they're doing. So if I like what I'm doing, I don't have no reason to change. I don't have no reason to change. And a lot of scientists and doctors have spoken and researched, and you've seen how people have committed these type of crimes, done time in jail, come out, and they go right back to molesting children, raping women, men, boys, whatever. It's something innately in them. Huh?
Because that's all they know.
Yeah, that's it. Ryan says, do you think your sister was influenced by Patrick?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think she was influenced by Patrick.
Okay.
Because if she think he was cute, hot, handsome, whatever like that, of course she's gonna be influenced by everything he does, and be blinded and ignore the red flags of what he is.
Mm-hmm. Well, the chat needs to know that Derica Brown had lost all custody of her children before this incident. She was also accused of kidnapping her children a year before kidnapping Cupcake, with Patrick Stallworth went on a high-speed chase after entering her relative's home with a gun. So she does have a propensity for violence, and that shows she didn't have any empathy then when she went in your family member's house with a gun and stole the children out of your relative's house and went on a high-speed chase and crashed her car. So then what's crazy is a year later, she's now implicated in kidnapping Camille McKinney with Patrick Stallworth. So it shows that your sister has not been dealing with a full debt before Patrick Stallworth. And she lost her children before Patrick Stallworth.
Yeah, because she was already charged for kidnapping before.
That's what I said.
I think they dropped the charges before the kidnapping, because she kidnapped her kids from I think was another relative house. I think, maybe. Yeah, and then they dropped that, and then when this case happened, they brought it up.
Let me ask you something. Do you believe your sister's a pedophile?
Yeah.
Okay. Why do you think they chose Cupcake on that night? And I'll let you go.
Well, I don't know. Maybe it's because she mainly by herself. Mm-hmm. They probably, I think they was out there watching.
Well, they were hanging around the neighborhood all day, so they were hunting children. That I believe that's been proven, because they got them on camera at the school, talking to those girls, the older girls, and then we have this other lady testifying that they was in her neighborhood, so they were out prowling trying to pick up kids.
Yeah, I really think that they targeted her. Well, I was told that they asked the other girl, but the other girl said no.
She didn't want to speak. That's what it was, I think.
Yeah,
and I wonder why. And I wonder why she didn't want to speak. Was she scared? Because he's locked up. So I thought, well, why would she be scared if he's locked up?
Yeah.
But I'm not a child either, so I can't, judge her for that, because she's a child. I was wondering when they was choosing Camille. It did cross my mind back then that maybe they chose her because your sister had lost all her children. And maybe she saw something in Camille with the pretty little hair bows and everything that it reminded her of her own child. But I can't say, who your sister was at that time, if she was a pedophile or not a pedophile, because I do believe they kidnapped your Camille for sexual purposes. I do believe that. But I still believe at that time, too, that it was something about Camille that attracted them to her, because it has been shown that all day they were trying to get girls. So it may not have mattered either.
Yeah, I found that very strange that they only picked the little girl. I just found that very interesting. That's why I was like, at first, I'll be honest, at first I thought maybe it was drugs. Somebody owed somebody money, and they were using the girl. Maybe I just had a lot of thoughts going on that then. I thought it was mainly because maybe the mom probably knew my sister, and I just was trying to find out why did they target her.
Yeah.
I just couldn't wrap my mind around that.
Yeah. Well, there were lots of rumors that they all knew of each other, this, that, and the other. They have pictures of McKinney, the father, on that same property where your sister Patrick lived, but they never tied the parents into this kidnapping with your sister and Mr. Patrick.
Yeah.
So let me ask you about that. Do you believe they know your sister and Patrick, the mother and the father of the child?
There's no proof that they did. I mean, they said they didn't. So I'm gonna just go with the flow. They didn't.
Okay.
I don't know.
Let me ask you this. Go ahead.
And I'll be honest with you. In a very it depends on how small the part of the neighborhood is.
Well, it's a nice size. It's a nice size. Listen, it's a nice size project. It's not a little small project.
It's not small. It's big. I mean, well, people know people.
People know people from town to town, side by, going across town. People talk about people. People go to clubs. That's how young people get to know each other, hearing about each other. They ain't got to be best friends, but they've heard of them.
Yeah, I just think that's kind of wild that I was like, nobody knew. I'm like, okay.
Well, that's from all the rumors that were circulating that they knew of each other. And then the fact that Kenny, the father, he's been on that property. There's pictures of him holding money in his hand. That's on the same property where your sister lived. So people started thinking, okay, maybe he knew her. Maybe he dated your sister. Maybe he was in a drug situation with her or Patrick. Your sister was using drugs. It was in her system. Drugs was found in the baby that your sister and him gave to her. So, people will start to speculate, like what they do in all these true crime stories.
Yeah.
Let me say this about April. I about lost my train of thought on that one. Do you feel she has any remorse for leaving her child unattended and her other son that day?
I think she did.
Okay.
And I know it eats her up too, because now she has to live with that. She could have been there for her.
Yeah.
And not left her. I mean, I would.
Yeah. Yeah, because I believe the girl who had the party said the girl was unattended. They took her over to the house 2 times. Nobody opened the door on the first round, but the second round, somebody opened the door and sent the child right back out. That shows negligence right there. You all didn't care about the child. That's how she ended up kidnapped. Yeah. You don't leave children outside all day. And the fact that she made a nasty comment on Facebook, well, other people still letting their kids walk to school unattended. That showed me she didn't give a fuck even then after the fact. Because I'm looking at her like, well, your kid just got murdered. Why are you worried about what other people are doing in the projects? That's their stupid ass. They want to still let their kids walk down the street unattended to school. What does that have to do with you? You just lost a kid. What you should be doing is lead by example. Hey, get your lazy ass up and walk your kids to school, because I lost my kid by letting her play outside all damn day and I didn't watch her. That's what she should have been saying. But see, to me, April had no remorse to me. That's my opinion. Because anybody goes straight to social media talking crazy, downing people, cussing and fussing, that shows me you didn't have no respect for your daughter. That's the reason why she got kidnapped in the first place. And I'm going to always say that. A lot of people don't like when I say that. But when I see a mother talking crazy on social media, that shows me you didn't care about your child before she got missing. And then she made nasty comments about her son, saying he was too needy. Well, bitch, he just lost his fucking sister. See, to me, something's wrong with April. Now, has she changed since that last time I did all those videos about her and that stupid ass baby daddy? I don't know. But her attitude sucked to me for somebody that got their kid murdered. That's just how I feel.
That's way out. That's yeah. I feel like kind of like I thought about that too when I heard about the gifts. I was like was wondering if April was she regret leaving her or something, because
I've been told that I had people come in the chat on the comment section and tell me she was leaving that little girl over there where she lived, unannounced, undetached, all that. She got a video of her riding a bicycle and the girl already around the corner, and April too busy going live on her phone. Man, she ain't never watch her kids. I believe that. Somebody else said she'd pull up. This bitch still have the car damn near moving while the child's trying to jump out. She wouldn't barely stop the car to let the kids out. I believe it. I believe it. I believe those projects was just a place for her to dump her kids. She go run, do what she wanted to do, and then she came back dark 30 and picked her kids up. Because she admitted, I always go over there and take my kids over there to play. Why? Why you can't pick your cousin up and y'all go somewhere else and hang? Why your kids got to always play in the projects? You don't live in the projects. So why would your kids need to be over there? And that's not to knock nobody in public housing, but that didn't make no sense that you get off of work and you go straight to public housing and leave your kids there every day. That just didn't make no sense to me.
Yeah. Especially at that young age. For me, I'll be right there with my kid. I mean, I never leave my kids. I got 16-year-old, I got 14, 9, and 7 months. and I'll never leave my kids anywhere without me, period. I don't care if I have to go outside for 2 minutes. They were Dollar General right with me.
Yeah, because the cousin, she's got kids, right? She, like, to me, she would say, I'm tired of being in public housing every waking day. Hey, cuz, come pick me up and let's go see something else. You understand what I'm saying? Why didn't she want to be out of the projects and go see something else sometime and take her children somewhere else besides being in the projects? Why April always have to go over there and hang in her house? That's what I'm trying to say. Why didn't the stupid cousin say to herself, hey, April, come pick me up. Let's take the kids to a park. And you know, I did my research. They have several parks from Tom Brown to Center Point.
Yeah, you do.
So there was no excuse. There was no excuse to always be hanging in the projects with your children. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Being lazy.
They all lazy. And that's why those two demons, one is your sister, took advantage of the situation that two children were playing in the dark and nobody was watching them.
Yep.
And that's what a predator is looking for. The opportunity to engage, to infiltrate. That's the devil's job. That's right. Seek and devour. That's right. Well, I'm not going to hold you. I thank you for joining me. Prayers to you and the family. Happy holidays to all of you. And we'll talk another time.
Of course.
Anything you want to say before I let you go?
No, that's good.
Listen, did I give you something to think about tonight?
I'm gonna be brainstorming on this stuff.
Okay.
Wow.
Well, you need to go back to my videos where I talk about sexual assault from a month ago, and I played some videos of men who have molested children, and they give their commentary on how they became child molesters and what happened to them.
Okay. I'm gonna find that.
Okay. You take care, okay? Have a good weekend.
You too.
Okay, sweetie. Bye-bye. Bye. All right, everybody, that's Candace. Candace is the sister of Derek Brown, government name Quintessa Jackson. Quintessa was just charged a week or so ago with federal kidnapping of a child, Camille McKinney, out of Birmingham, Alabama. She and Patrick Stallworth were tried separately, and both have now been found guilty of kidnapping a girl child. They will be facing state charges of murder of the child, where the state is seeking the death penalty. And Candace has come to this great network of everyday shenanigans and let me ask her questions pertaining to the case and her feelings on the case and her sister. I thank her for joining me. Feel free to go back into my library where I have 1,700 plus videos since coming to YouTube. And I talk about this case extensively. That was my first true crime case where people found who I am with this everyday shenanigans. That is how people came to know who I am, is by talking about Camille McKinney Cupcake. She's no longer with us. And once again, Derek Brown, Patrick Stallworth have been found guilty of kidnapping the said child, and they are facing each state trial a murder charge of the little girl. She was 3 years old at the time. She was left unattended in the projects, playing with her sibling and other children. Lesson learned, watch your children. You cannot leave children unattended nowhere. We live in a different day and time where you can't now let 8, 9, 10-year-olds walk to the store by themselves unattended, because anything can happen. People are sicker. They are worse than they were before. And yes, we as children could have also been kidnapped, hurt, or harmed. But by the grace of God, we were not abducted and sexually assaulted and or murdered. But it is worse now. It doesn't matter if they're 3. It doesn't matter if they're 10. It doesn't matter if they're 18. So long as you are unattended by yourself, you are open season for a predator, a sicko. Doesn't matter how old you are. People are sick. People are not well. So you have to be aware of your surroundings. If you see something, say something. Be a part of the solution, not the problem. Mind the children. Always make a phone call anonymous if you fear giving your name to a crime or any type of abuse against the elderly or a child or an adult. You don't have to give your name. Please be aware of your surroundings while shopping. Go in groups at late night if you're going to be shopping in the malls. Always have your key ready. Do not fumble with your keys in the parking lot or at the car. Put all parcels in the trunk. Do not leave parcels out on the seat or the floorboards. Do not post what you've bought on social media. Please be careful when you're traveling in and out of town. Do not talk to strangers. Do not pick up strangers. Do not go over to people's cars to buy stolen hot merchandise or anything because it may be a setup and you too will become a news story and a YouTube video. Please be aware of your surroundings. This is the season for pirates hijacking things off your porches, break-ins, home invasions. They can happen anytime, even when it is not Christmas. And please talk to your children about their valuables and their belongings. Do not let them take things over to other people's homes, and be careful of the company they keep and letting other people come in your house because people will be coming to lurk and look, and it's sad to say even children still too. Thank you all so much for following the content. If you'd like to donate to this great network, $DeGanji 129 Cash App. Thank you for the stickers and the chats this evening. This is a 3-hour plus live. Sorry it's so long, but it was a 2-part live pertaining to Leilani'S Simon and her infamous interview, and Shanquella Robinson. Her father has spoken to News Nation seeking justice for the death of his child, and a warrant has been issued out of Mexico for one female, but her name has not been mentioned on the warrant to the public. But we are praying that all will be arrested. And when you go back to the beginning of this video, you will hear the father say he wants everybody arrested for the death of his daughter. Prayers to the Robinson family, justice. And I pray that they all will be arrested because they all played a role in the death of this young lady. Thank you so much for joining me this Everyday Shenanigans. Y'all have a happy weekend.